Welcome, everyone, to episode 15 of the podcast. Today, we're diving into server transfers and all of the chill and Ravenloft Preorders stuff. If you haven't listened to this podcast before, it's available on YouTube and Spotify. We'll start by just going around the table and doing some intros. So if you guys want to just say a couple things about yourself, just real quick to let people know who you are, maybe say where you play, maybe what server you're going to with the transfers, and how long you've been playing DDO. Noob, you want to go first?
Yeah, hi there. My name is, and you'll get this, it's long, is Noobalolic. Most people know me as Noob or Newbie. I've been streaming for a few months on a regular schedule now. I team up with Coding42 and Guppy's Art, and I stream from the Cormier server Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 8 a.m. EST. On Wednesdays, I stream 2 hours before downtime, and it's usually just me and Igri. Shout out to Igri, by the way, he's always been there for me. I'm planning to move. My main server will either be one of the two of Cormier or Moonsea, but I will have characters on every server.
All right, Abra.
Hey, my name is Abracadagger. My real name is Adam. You can call me Adam. You don't have to say Abracadagger. It's kind of long. My main server is Kyber. I've been there ever since the original server merge way back. At the moment, I plan on going to Shadowdale. There are some things that may affect that. I'm going to kind of watch the population and what it does on the DDO audit website. And that could have something to do with where I go. But as of right now, I would really like to go to Shadowdale, and that's what I plan on doing. I've been playing this since release. I think the month after release. And I've been VIP ever since. But if you don't mind, come check me out on YouTube, Abracadagger space D&D. I have a channel over there. I do stream on occasion. But other than that, I am really just happy to be here, man.
Doug?
I'm Doug Lindauer. I stream on my own channel at twitch.tv/Doug Lindauer, Tuesday through Friday. And I have the longest running show on DDO stream, Bard Life, which streams every Saturday, despite what the schedule says, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Pacific time. My current main server is, well, there's only two servers, and I'm on Kyber. I'm not Kyber. And I plan to move to every single server. My main guild will be going to Thrain. My Argo guild will be going to Cormier. My secondary guild is going to Moonsea. And then the leftovers are going to the one named after a vacuum cleaner.
Nimvin?
Oh, me? No, I'm Nimvin Dirge Singer. I have my own Twitch channel, YouTube, but I also kind of co-host Voodoo Spice's show, kind of his little sidekick. I've been playing this game for 15 years this December. I'm currently on Solona, but I'm going to Shadowdell. And I'm very excited to talk about today's topics.
All right, Nomad.
All right, Nomad Dog. Occasional streamer, occasional content creator, frequent podcast guest, and longtime DDO player. I started playing shortly after I went free to play in 2015. In terms of where I'm going, I will have tunes everywhere. However, my two main characters will probably be on Thrain, but I will have characters on Moonsea, Shadowdale, and I already have some on Cormier. So I'll be everywhere. Nomad Dog of Cannith should exist on each server once we transfer. Looking forward to the discussion.
All right, guys. Go ahead. Yeah.
If I may, for those that are watching that may want to know, my main character is Psychonaut. That's who I've been playing for years and years and years. I don't bounce around with different characters. So if you know the name Psychonaut, that's me. It's been around forever.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, the first thing I want to dive into is Chilla Ravenloft content. So we got the pre-orders, and this was what, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, something like that. But we got some information on what's going to be included in the expansion. So we're gonna have 13 quests, one raid, and wilderness. So what are your all's thoughts on number of quests and raids? Because it's about what I was expecting personally. It's fairly in line with Mythranor. Were you all hoping for more or less quests or more raids? I mean, I was hoping for 2 raids personally.
I was hoping
But I
for
wasn't
2 raids. I
expecting
missed
it.
that formula.
Yeah.
I love that formula of one raid that you kind of have to do the expansion to get to, and one that's just, you don't have to flag. I like that. I wish they would bring that back because it's fun. I enjoyed that, but I understand they want to get rid of flagging. The one raid, kind of sad. It just seems very basic amount of numbers. Nothing as spectacular as Menace of the Underdark, considering, if you include challenges as quests.
Right. Yeah, I would love like one easy pug raid and then one more in-depth raid. Kind of like the original Ravenloft expansion was. You had Old Baba's Hut. You didn't have to flag. A little more simple, and then you had the really in-depth long one with Curse of Strahd. But, well, I will say, to their credit, last year they did release Mythranor's, only had one raid, but then shortly after they did do a free raid, which was Den of Vipers. So that was nice to see.
I would
Hopefully
say
we get the same thing this time. Maybe we'll do a free raid or something, or an adventure pack with a raid in it would be cool too.
I would say honestly, I'm surprised they're doing this at all. Given the stress the servers and everything going to be under, and the workload that they're going to have if they have issues with the transfers, I'm honestly surprised that this this content that's coming out is as big as it is. I would think that they would have dialed it back or even pushed this back until after the transfers were done and went smoothly. But man, they're going for it, bro. They're going for it all at once.
Yeah, well, they've got to keep the game alive and making money, but they have their engineer people and then they have their content people, so they don't, they have people the people that do the content are not working on the engineering for this transfers and all that. So it's not like they can get all their resources and put it just into engineering. So it makes sense, I guess. Nomad, did you have something you wanted to say? Oh, I saw you trying to chime in there.
Yeah, well, I was going to say 13 quests is pretty standard for an expansion. I think that's probably the number it's been last couple expansions at least. Yeah, I mean, I don't raid often, but it'd be nice to have some variety. I would actually like to see a raid at a lower level, honestly, rather than at legendary. I mean, have a legendary version, right? But maybe another epic raid. Something to do besides just grinding through 20 to 30 doing regular quests. But I mean, overall, I'm seeing what they expect to put out. It's pretty standard. With regards to what Abra was saying, I have a feeling that their data center contract was probably coming to an end on the 32-bit side. And so, they have to make these changes. There's not much choice for them. And so I think the expansion's always planned out well ahead, right? And they know at least a year in advance what they're going to be doing for the next expansion. And I think these things just coincided, and there's not much choice in terms of what they actually have to get done. So, but should be fun. Interesting to go back to Lamornia.
I would like to tag on to Nomad Dog point that they've been working on 64-bit servers for the last 3 years.
Right. I understand all that, and there's different departments that handle each of these things, right? But it seems like it's. I didn't expect them to do this all at once. Try to release a new big content package and do the transfers all around the same time. I just feel like they should have separated it. Like you said, there's different departments to work on different bugs for those 2 separate things, but it just seems like a lot because SSG's not that big, honestly. Not the people that work on DDO, anyways.
Yeah, I've got to second that. I mean, any expansion with any amount of quests, I mean, 10 plus is like standard and expected and great. But the timing it with the server change, I mean, like I was saying, they could have planned it better because they knew what was coming. They knew what they were going to do. It would have been nice if they'd have done the server and then released server merges and then update afterwards, or release the expansion and then the server afterwards when everything was in place. So I mean, any expansion, anything over 10 quests is great, but the timing of the server change could have been a bit better.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point, and I will say I think that's maybe one of the reasons the expansion's a little bit later in the year than I personally was expecting it to release. Go ahead, Nimbin.
I'm really excited though, because I met like at the meetup, I met up with Flimsy Firewood and another dev that were actually designing and physically working on Lemortia. And I'm really excited to see what they've done. I know we're talking about this content simultaneously. For some reason I don't see it as a problem. I don't see virtual space being formed and shaped in a game being additional. I feel like that virtual space already exists in DDO. I don't think it's gonna add to. I feel like what's gonna mess up the transfers the most is Black Friday rush. You know what I mean? We're all gonna want to do it at the same time. And Cordovon mentioned that unpacking and packing is gonna cause a lot of lag, especially when it's done 3,000 people at a time. Oh, so I feel like the content's not going to be an issue because the ether's there for them to form already. You know, I mean, the original starting area is somewhere floating out there in DDO in some virtual space. If you know how to break through the barriers and just walk around, there's a player that does this all the time. They even leaked what Myth Janor was going to look like because they so I don't see that being an issue as much as us were the issue.
Yeah, I will say, going back to what Nomad was saying about a lower level version, I think one thing I've wanted to see for a long time is some kind of like mode for people to learn raids. So I think a lower level version would be good for that because you could not you could use it as something to run while you're leveling if you want to mix things up, even if it's not going to be like optimal XP per minute. And you could also use that and run it over level if you want to learn the raid and get ready for a legendary raid. So
And there's something to like Tempest Spine and Vaughn 5 and 6. Like to this day, it's like part of my leveling routine. Like I kind of miss epic and heroic raids.
yeah, and I see a lot of players run into the issue too of they can't run a raid because they don't know it, but they can't learn it because they can't run it. Because they either can't get a group or they can't go in on normal and just learn it. So
And besides Tempest Spine, all the heroic and
Right.
lower level raids have, you know, requirements to even step in the door.
Yeah, I don't see why they can't make a raid that's like from 6 to 8. You know, that low level range. I know they got Chronoscope, but I would like to see a heroic raid in between Chronoscope and Tempest Spine. You know what I mean?
yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, I
Tempest
was
Scope.
thinking, I'm trying to double back to all that other conversation we are having about the thing. I was thinking that ever since Sharn, it seems like we lose like a quest out of every expansion pack that's coming on because Sharn was probably the biggest one. And my concerns about Lemortia is the fact that Ravenloft set a bar so high for the quality of the quests. I don't think any single expansion has felt as unique or complete as Ravenloft has. And this is coming from someone who absolutely despises the setting. I hate Gothic lore, but I never ever miss Ravenloft because the quests are they're just that good. As far as the rating goes, well, multiple times SSG has said that there's just no demand for low level raids. So I don't know how much, I don't know what it is that we can do really to change their minds, except now that with the server consolidation thing going on, for those of us who are interested in leading, we lead those low level at level raids as soon as they come up and show them that maybe the demand is actually there, even if they have to throw in a legendary version just to make sure it gets played somehow, some way.
Well, let's
There's,
oh, go ahead.
one of the issues that they always bring up about bringing a lower level raid is the lower level raid loot. You know, for some reason they're scared of making lower level raid loot because it tends to be best in slot and it alienates other content's gear. And that's another reason why they don't like making heroic. They should make more epic raids though. That's not a good excuse for epic raids. There needs to be some good level 23 gear that's best in slot, like Mo2 weapons.
Well, okay, guys, let's move on to some other stuff. So we got the release date range, which is going to be August 6th through September 5th, but everything minus the quest and raid content, wilderness, public area are available now, and then stuff like the teleport, clicky, obviously, but it's probably going to be more like, I'm thinking probably more in the August 6th. They tend to give themselves a buffer range in case something goes wrong. So probably going to be like early August, but it could be as late as early September. The pricing was the same. So standard edition, $40, collector's edition, $80, ultimate fan bundle, $130. And I do have to say, disclaimer, I was gifted an ultimate version by SSG, so I need to tell people that. So I don't see a comment on YouTube saying, oh my gosh, this guy's just, he's bought and paid for. Okay. So what do you guys think about the bundles? Not the bundles, but the pricing. I mean, not really much to say, honestly. It's stayed the same, which is good. I mean, it's really stayed the same over how many years now? Like a decade?
Ever since Ravenloft.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if they were going to increase it, but they still haven't, which is good. I mean, not to say it's not still extremely expensive. It is, but at least it hasn't gone up.
I have to say this. I've been VIP since I started playing. And I've never once even considered buying an Ultimate Fan Bundle because I just feel like they already get my money every month. I do buy DDO points here and there to buy things in the store that I would like. And I usually buy just the standard edition just to have access. Any races or anything that come along, I'll earn them, right? This is the only time I've ever seen cosmetics, the pet, the mounts, and I was like, I might buy the Ultimate Fan Bundle. I really like the way this stuff looks. And is that worth $130? I think it just depends on each person individually, right? What do you like? What do you want from the game? What do you enjoy seeing? So the price, I think, is irrelevant.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to agree with that because I'm going to say we must dissent. This is the first Ultimate Fan Bundle I probably would not have bought if I hadn't been gifted a code from SSG for all my long time on Bard Life. I did not like the mount, and I thought that the hireling should have had our alchemist outfit and we should have got theirs. The whole all black thing. I'm not usually an all black guy, but it didn't look right to me. And now on the other hand, I went ahead for my second account. I bought an extra ultimate myth Draenor because I wanted that hireling. I wanted a permanent extra healing hireling. I had to have that. And then the fact I got the carpet was an additional bonus, but it was literally for Rana. I bought an extra copy.
So before we get too deep into it, let me go ahead and just for people listening, let me read off really quickly what's included in each bundle. So in the $40 standard edition, you get the content and you get the Dampier character race. In the collector's edition, you get all of that plus the Mistwalker movement style, Mad Experimenter's cosmetic set, Mad Experimenter's Flesh Golem Steed, Brain in a Jar Pet, level 8, Drossheart Alchemist Hireling, 1 character slot, a potion of Loot Ransack Reset, and 10 shared account bank storage. And if you get the Ultimate Fan Bundle, you get everything I just said. Plus, you also get the Dhampir Dark Bargainer Iconic, Dark Bargainer Cosmetic Outfit. That's the one included with the Iconic that can only be worn on the Iconic. The level 34 Alchemist Hireling, Dark Resurrectionist Cosmetic Set, Dark Resurrectionist Stone Lion Mount, Grimshka Cosmetic Pet, +1 Tome of Universal Enhancement for every character, +20 character bank slots, 1 additional character slot, so 2 total, and then 2 extra potions of Loot Ransack, so you get 3 total. And then you also get the teleport clicky to Lamortia. So,
just to be clear, for those that may be watching that are not aware or that are new to DDO, newish, VIP gets the base race for free.
right, not the Iconic,
You don't
though.
get the content. Right. So just be aware of that if you're looking to play it and you don't want to spend $40 right away, or you don't want to spend, all this money to buy whatever. Spend $15 and unlock it that way. $15 a month.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with just getting the $40 version. I mean, I have the 40. I bought the standard for the original Ravenloft expansion. I don't own the collector's edition or anything like that. And if I wasn't being gifted as a content creator the codes, I would probably just get the standard edition because I'm not too. Because I think the big appeal of the Ultimate really is the power creepy aspect with the tome, and then the convenience of the teleport clicky. I mean, there's a couple other things, but I think those are the main drivers for me of the Ultimate Fan Bundle, unless you're really fixated on a specific cosmetic or hireling or something. But generally that, and then I guess plus the storage. But yeah.
So for me, the price is actually pretty cheap. If you consider digital art pricing, like if as content creators, some of us has been pursued by digital artists, and if you ever entertain them and ask them for a price of doing digital art for you, they'll give you a 3-digit number, usually starting with a 3 or a 6 or a 9. So the fact that we get in a movement style, which is brand new, there's no number value that we can compare it to, and it's just $130. It's pretty good, I would say. It's a brand new cosmetic toggle, and it's also the first of, I'm hoping, many fun toggles of funny walks and cool walks. I do agree that the biggest attraction is the cosmetics, and they're kind of mid.
Yeah,
Not saying that they're horrible.
Yeah,
but
I'm not huge on them either.
there's the tome, the teleport clicky. I'm assuming you can just go to Ravenloft and get to Lamortia. So like the teleport clickies kind of extra.
Yeah, I wonder if you can just, my guess, can you just get there from the Mist and House J maybe?
Like it's
Probably.
Lamortia. Yeah, it's but
Yeah, I
like
mean,
Probably
the
show up as an
bundle,
option there.
it's really hard for them to come out with a good $130 bundle that's both worth the money and creative. Like Isle of Dread was definitely worth the money, not creative, right? 2 autos boxes, that's great.
Dino mounts though, man. I love those. It's like my favorite
And
mount.
but then you look at the older ones where they gave us astral shards and all these things. Like they constantly giving us storage, and for me, what I like about it's the storage of the tome and the movement style. The movement style is just so awesome. I love it so much. It makes me feel so cool.
Oh, and the other thing, going back to the prices, you're also kind of paying when you pay the $130. It's in a sense a donation to the game. Like, do you want the game to keep going for years? So if you do, you can view it that way. Okay, yeah, we understand you can go get a full AAA game on your PlayStation 5 or something for $60-$70, and this is asking you to pay double that, but you're also committed. You're helping out a studio to continue this game that doesn't have a particularly large player base.
I think it's nice that they actually started offering and continue to offer three different price points, because some people are on a budget or have a family, have obviously other things they've got to pay for. People like to save for the good stuff, but I like the fact that you can get the base bundle there. You can do the quest for what I think is a reasonable price. I tend to go for collector's edition because I'm more interested in the storage space, but all the cosmetics and stuff, a lot of people are interested in them, but really not for me. So I tend to go for the collectors. When I do purchase this one, it will be the base. Looking at past expansions, I'll see that you can upgrade stuff as you go along. So I think that's a great idea. And having the base pack so you can play the quest with your friends is awesome.
And the other thing
the
is,
upgrade
I'd like to
is
I'd like
nice.
to add on to that, yeah, because the last sale, they finally fixed the upgrade pricing, so you can get the
Yeah.
you can get the difference on sale. So you buy the basic and then you upgrade to the ultimate. Well, then you get that discount on the $70 rather than having to pay the whole price, then get the discount. I was really glad they fixed that.
Yeah, good move. That was a good move.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good for people, as like Noob said. If you're on a budget, you buy the cheaper one, and then let's say 2 or 3 weeks go along, and you're like, oh, I got a little extra money. Let's buy the upgrade, and now you just pay the difference, and you just move up like that. And when you can, if you want to.
and you can also buy them for points if you want to wait to buy these for points. There's some differences. Some things like with the tome, you can't buy it for points for every character. You have to buy it on an individual basis. But January 2026, they did say you can buy it for points if you want to wait.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, because people that are on a budget might get into the game and think, I've got a bit of spare cash, I can upgrade this, and it will get them to play the game for longer, maybe get their friends involved. So, yeah, very wise move.
Yep.
Yeah, so let's get in now to the specifics here of what's in the bundles. So let's talk about the races. So we have Dampier and we have the Dampier Dark Bargainer Iconic. So they're basically the new half vampire races. Base Dampier starts with +2 to strength. The Iconic starts with 1 level of Warlock. And instead of +2 to strength, it gets +1 intelligence, +1 charisma. The enhancements are really similar with some small differences. And the Iconic has access to a specific line of feats called the Dark Gift Feats. And also there's a new pact. So have you all been playing Dampier or the Dampier Iconic?
I will run them for the racial lives on the 2 racial tunes I'm working on, and then be done with them because, as I've already mentioned, I don't like Gothic content.
Yeah, I just actually last night finished my 3rd life as a Dampier. I do not have the Dark Bargainer. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to purchase the Ultimate Fan Bundle. I want to. Still trying to convince myself to spend that money. Actually, more trying to convince my wife to allow me to spend that money. But the Dampier was actually... A lot of people didn't care for the bite and the bat movement. And some people were like, it's mid, right? I actually liked it. The first life I played a fighter. Just not a Dragon Lord, just a straight fighter. And while you get second wind, the bite is just another thing to help in those moments where you're like, oh shit. And you press that button to heal a little bit of something, And I didn't focus on the stunning and all that stuff that comes with some of that. But just the idea that you're able to heal yourself in another way as a fighter a class that really doesn't have much healing, I kind of enjoyed it.
I just ran a 15 to 34 on the Iconic. I did a weird Warlock melee, and I used the new Dark Gift Feat, the one that gives you the extra range, which actually turned out to be a lot more helpful than I thought, and I actually found the Iconic to be a little bit better than I was expecting it to be, particularly the bite ability. They did change it, so in Lamania it had 5 limited charges, but they changed it when it went live to where they took away the limited charges. And once you get some Negamp on there, and if you're obviously playing as Undead, it's actually a pretty decent little heal. It's going to heal you maybe a fourth, maybe a third of your health each time. No, probably not a third, probably more like a fourth. But it's nice to go along with the other stuff. Say like I was using the new pack, so I had the the basically the Pale Master spells, right? The aura, death auras, and the aura burst, and then I had 8 levels of Dragon Lord, so I had a couple second wins. So it was nice, and the bite also has the ability where when you use a bite, you get +3 to all stats. That was actually really useful. Like you would go through, you would spam your quick cutter or whatever you're using, and then kind of toward the end of the fight, you would maybe finish off an enemy with a bite, so you get a little heal and get +3 to all stats. That lasts for a minute, by the way. So you have that through your next encounter. So it was those aspects of it I found useful. I do think a lot of it's kind of useless though, like the rush of bats and the dread mist specifically. That whole mechanic to me, maybe. I mean, I will say maybe I didn't try it as much as I should have, but and maybe I wrote it off too early. But it just seems way too slow for me.
It's the best AOE insta kill in the game right now.
Really?
Yeah.
What is?
The mist. It doesn't have a limit, so you can literally kill a half a dungeon with it.
Better than Ravager? Ravager caps?
Oh yeah.
Really? Okay. Well, maybe I need to play with it more.
Ravager caps out at 6, doesn't it? It only can kill up to 6 dudes.
It does.
Yeah, no, this doesn't have a cap. You can kill 20 or 500.
Won't that damage the server? That would damage the server. That's what we were told.
Don't they have to be in the mist area, though?
Yeah, and you just have to bring the enemies to it. It doesn't have a cap.
Yeah, I found that's kind of impractical, at least for leveling. I mean, maybe if you're running like high Reaper in-game stuff, but
yeah, it's mostly leveling, for high Reaper.
Like for leveling, I'm gonna be running quick cut. Everything dies in one hit anyway, like 1 or 2 hits with quick cutter, and I just found it pointless. So maybe I need to try it more for higher skull stuff or slower content.
I mean, it's just a different style of playing.
Yeah,
right?
but for general leveling, I just found it's like, why would I throw up the mist?
Yeah, you wouldn't use it if you're going forward marching. You wouldn't want to use it, but if you're doing like R10 and you're trying to clear a room smartly, like you can clear a room pretty smartly with that thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. I haven't played, like, I've just leveled the character that I've played. I've not tried playing high skulls on the character or anything like that.
Yeah,
I've just been leveling on R1.
I can't wait to talk about my opinion on Dampier and Iconic.
Yeah, well, you can talk about it now if you want to. I mean,
all right.
Yeah, go into it. Go for it.
So at first, Dampier came off B tier until I played it. It's A tier, the heroic. It's not. It's basically kind of like an undead Aasimar. It allows you to heal as a rogue, as a fighter, like we were talking about earlier, and it adds extra DCs and stuff, and it adds extra flair. I love when I play a class that doesn't have a lot of attacks, that my race adds a few things that I can click on, and Dampier adds it. I wouldn't say it's like the best race of all time. There's some limitations to it, but on paper, it doesn't look as good as it is in practice. Dampier actually plays really well. The Warlock S tier, it is what Abyssal Pact should have been, and it actually adds a lot more DPS to Warlock where they took it out, and it adds extra DCs that Warlock never had in the first place. It's probably the best Warlock I've ever seen, and I hope they continue on with that.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it as a caster, specifically, but I can't say. I've just not been playing it as a caster. But it was nice to get all the new pact with all the self-healing. Was pretty cool because it really synergizes well with the undead form.
Honestly, I don't even use the pack spells that much because it's kind of easy just to tentacle and mist your way through things. You know, just grab a group of mobs, tentacle them, throw the mist, have them die, and just move on. It's almost careless. You can just easily just destroy non-boss mobs and just not, it's just like butter, like a hot knife through butter. It's so good, and the teal color is so pretty. I can't hate this.
So you basically just throw it out, watch them die, sort of thing.
So yeah. I haven't played it. Like I said, the Iconic. I don't know if I'll get around to playing the Iconic. There has to be something that grabs me with the iconic before I will purchase an iconic, like the Shade Archive. I like the Shade Archive because I'm familiar with the lore, and I like the way they kind of did it. So it's one of the things that I did purchase. But just reading it, the Vampiric Blast that basically heals you, I don't like that it has to be in the Focus Blast shape. Like, maybe I'm asking too much, but why can't you just have it in all your shapes, just applied to your blast period, no matter what shape it is?
Well, it's because it's answering the biggest problem Warlock has: a single target boss DPS. It's not there for you to tear up a mob even more. It's there for you to switch to during bosses. So that's why it has enervating shot and focus shot, because you're supposed to focus on a boss and enjoy the increased DPS.
Okay. That makes sense.
The,
Sounds
the,
about
the
right, yeah.
healing is a byproduct. In endgame, it's not much. It's the extra damage die that's the key feature of the Vampiric Blast.
So let's get into the feats, the dark gift feats, and then which of those feats were you using? Which have you played with?
I hate them.
And which ones do you like? Or are you just using the sprint one and not even?
Yeah, I have one
caring?
of those click to activate ones, and I just never touch. I don't like it because think of it like, oh, obviously the one that doesn't hurt you much is the negative energy, negative amp one, right? But in the end game, it just aggravates clerics because that negative penalty also grows. So
Right.
your positive sucks. Your positive intake sucks.
Yeah, you're talking about the
And
one that gives you a big bonus to neg amp, but big penalty to positive amp, right?
yeah, so like
Yeah.
the best thing to do is just, if you're willing to deal with, and all of them kind of suck. So like choose whatever one you want. I personally like the one that you click to activate, so I don't have to have any blind debilitation in the middle fight.
Yeah, and for anyone listening who doesn't really know what these are a line of feats that can only be taken by the iconic, and all of them have the theme here is it's a dark bargain, right? It's a dark gift. So they all have a positive aspect, but they all have some kind of penalty to them. So it's a give and a take. Uh, like I was saying before, the only one I used was since I played it as a melee warlock, I used the extra range, and my attitude going in is like, okay, I'll just try it. If it's not good, I'll just go to Fred. I'll go to Hall of Mark, get a free feed exchange, and just swap it out to the leap one. But I found that it's actually good. It's really good. The ranged one, it adds a lot of extra range to your melee attacks, and one of the reasons I went two-handed fighting because I thought maybe it would give me even more range. And yeah, it's a lot of extra range on your melee attacks, and the penalty is not even that bad. The penalty only lasts for 5 seconds, and it doesn't happen all that much. So it's totally worth it. I mean, maybe not. It's not going to be worth it if you're specifically going for like end-game raiding character and you want maximum single target DPS, but generally for leveling, especially if you're soloing, it's definitely worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it can only happen, like you said, once every 30 seconds. You're talking about the Living Shadow.
I forget the name, but it's the one that
Yeah.
gives you the extra range.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
shadow reaches
it's a
out
small
longer.
chance when you critically hit a target, it reduces your damage by 15%.
But it only lasts for
Which is
5
not
seconds, and it doesn't
horrible.
proc. It doesn't proc very often. Maybe
Right.
like twice per quest, maybe, and it's only 5 seconds. So we're talking 10 seconds a quest of minus 15% DPS in exchange
Right.
for nearly double the range on your melee attacks. Maybe not quite double, but it's a lot. So
I could see that one being obvious, the least bad of these feats, because I read through all of these and I'm like, I wouldn't take any of these.
See, the thing is like a lot of them are really horrible on paper, but in practice they're not that bad. Like what Axel revealed, but the thing, but like I said, it's so bad on paper. So like you said, it happens on crits every 30 seconds. Well, if you have a crit range that's 13 to 20, that's like 60% of the time you attack, you have a chance of a debuff.
I'm gonna be honest, that I've seen them try to introduce this mechanic. As a matter of fact, this mechanic was at launch with like curses and items, and they've removed it every single
Mhm.
time. I'm really surprised they are going back to this well. And on one hand, I hope it works out for them. They obviously believe in it, but previous 3 times it hasn't. So no, I don't know. I don't know how long this will last.
I think some players also wrote it off. I think a lot of players just wrote it off initially because SSG won't really give us all the information. I wish they would consider disclosing the percentage chances for these things, because since we don't have that, players don't know how, they have no idea how positive or negative this is going to affect their character. So in return, because they don't have the information, they just go for the leap. And with the leap active one, you can just not ever put it on your hotbar, and it just won't have any effect at all. So I think a lot of players just did that because it's like, well, we don't have the numbers. I'm not going to take a chance of my characters being worse, so I'm just going to take the leap. So I think SSG should consider just put the percentage chance. Like you have a X% chance per swing to get the the negative proc for the just for an example, the one I took. It's just something like that. Just give us all the information, please.
I'm wondering if they're trying to find a middle ground, right? Because when Chaosmancer came out, they're negative effects, but there's a way in the enhancement trees to negate those negative effects, right? You can choose to go where you don't get all the bad stuff that happens to you. So I'm wondering if they're trying to find this middle ground where here's some buffs for you, but we don't want them to be too strong. So here's a little bit of a negative effect without having to, dump things into enhancement tree to try to negate some of those negative effects.
And aren't they bound to
I feel
this
like
by the lore in some respects? I'm not a lore master on this at all, but does the lore not kind of require them to do this?
okay, so this actually has to tie to Amber Temple, believe it or not, in the lore. So the dark gifts are from the dark forgotten gods of the land, right? And so these are dark gifts, and that whole pact that the Iconic has is that you made a pact with these dark entities, right? And so that's why you get a dark gift right away. So there is some lore behind it. The thing is that ultimately, I think if you look at this as a game mechanic aspect rather than a D&D thing, it's just them trying to be like, hey, you guys want R10 to be fun? Well, how about, having a chance of being blind once in a while when you cast a spell, or a chance that you do less DPS, Also, there's a factor of speed lag, which Severlin and I talked about on my stream when he announced the 64-bit servers on there. Is that he acknowledges that fast feels good, but this game actually can't support fast like we have right now. So they're trying to mitigate it by fixing lag in other areas. So that's why they gave us things like that thing that adds a crit multiplier, but we attack 10% slower. They're trying to mitigate issues of lag with certain debuffs, and they may or may not be able to just outright tell us because of their policies of just talking about exploits and things like that.
But not only that, the backlash. If they found out that, and it's interpretation, right? If the players, some of the players that just don't really read into it and just see the face value of, all of a sudden I'm nerfed because your servers can't handle this. Like the backlash they're going to get from the players that think like that is insane.
Yeah, no, the story is way more complex than that. And
Right.
I hate that SSG's in that situation.
But you get a lot of players, like I said, that don't look into it. They
Yeah.
just see it as a nerf, and that's it. Their brain shuts down. It's like, oh, the hell with SSG and this and that. Can't believe you did this just because your servers are bad. That's not the case, man. Like you need to open your mind a little bit and understand it from their side.
Yeah, when this
Yeah.
game came out, it was a complete game and they added on to it. That's what's happening, right? Like this game came out complete, and then it was meant to support this complete product, and then we added onto it, and now we need to upgrade it so it can handle all this addition.
Well, that's the problem. It's not what my viewpoint was, and not whether it was a nerf, because, well, when you get down to it, it is, but it's not for the reason of just nerfing things. My problem is that they introduced and sold classes with a basic gameplay mechanic and then took it away. That means that they really should have anticipated these problems back at day one with, say, the speed and firepower of an artificer, not 8 years on.
Mm-hmm. I have that problem with the Reaper enhancement trees too. It causes lag, and they released it, and they made us live with it for years.
So they can't. I'm sorry, they can't look. And I know we're kind of going on here, kind of a little off subject, so I'll make this fast. They can't look at how are the players going to exploit this, or how are these elitist players, the ones that figure out all these little niche things you can do to speed things up and make this stronger. They'll never be able to predict that, because there's so many players that delve into this, and they just can't predict how these players are going to utilize certain things in certain ways until it happens.
Yeah,
if you look at
go ahead.
Sorry, Axel.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying if you look at the things they do, it's a hard balancing act for the people that are developing the game and the mechanics of the game. I, for one, would be happy. Well, not happy, but I can accept the fact that if I play a ranged character, which I do a lot of the time, if the damage is reduced for any reason, if it keeps the game up and running, they try their best to balance it out. So they might say, okay, you don't fire as fast, but you do slightly more damage. You lose a bit, but I think that's an acceptable loss if you really want to see the game keep going into the future. And I'm just happy that, although I don't like some things about the game, most of it I do, and I'm still going to play it and hope that it's still supported in the next 5, 10, 15 years. So I know there's a balancing act, and I think they do a damn good job of making an effort, even though, we don't like some things they do. It's got to happen in the end.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, let's
you
move
can't
on.
please everyone all the time.
No. Is there anything else you guys want to say about the races before we move on to the next topic?
I like them.
Well, that summarizes it then. All right. Well, let's go to the cosmetics. So real quick, so there's the Mad Experimenters, the Dark Resurrectionist sets, and then there's the two mounts, which are the Stone Lion and the Experimenter. What is it called? The Experimenter, the one with the horse with the fish on it, the fish tail.
Yeah,
and then
these
there's
mounts are like horrible.
Yeah. And then there's the two pets, which is the Brain in the Jar and the Grenchka, I think it is. So what do you guys think about this?
Worst mount, greatest creature companions.
Dude, I love the ugliness of it. I've been using it. It fits, right? Because the expansion is a Frankenstein themed expansion. So you have this mount where it looks like it was like part horse, part goat. I think the front of its head is part goat. Got goat horns, and then they've got the fish, part fish. So it's basically this mad scientist had assembled it like Frankenstein's monster, right? So it makes sense. It's ugly.
I love it.
It's so ugly, but I like ugly. I like ugly things sometimes.
Yeah.
For me, like, it's so hard to follow up a cloud mount. Like, I feel like that cloud mount kind of spoiled mounts for me for a while.
Well, again, that comes down to individual taste, right?
Yeah.
So,
which cosmetics is individual taste.
Right.
There's no right or wrong answer here.
Which is what ultimately got me to really thinking about buying the fan bundle, as I mentioned earlier. I don't know what it is about dark or gothic horror. I really like that kind of stuff. So this one got me, man. They might have their hooks in me for this one, for this bundle. I'm just gonna have to fight with the wife.
To be honest, the dark reincarnate or whatever outfit, the vampire outfit, it's super swag. I love it. I don't like the top hat. I don't like any of the cloaks except the backpack. And I actually like the whole lab outfit for gnomes. The cosmetics are good.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm sorry I cut you off, Doug.
I would have liked to have, like I said, I would have liked to have seen that we got the dark version of the experimenter garb, just because I know more people are gonna like that look than rather than the white and the grayish overcoat. The other one, I think it's one of those frilly cosmetics that you see all through there, just themed to Lamortia. I don't mind the stone lion. It's kind of mid for me, but one I would use definitely on the character. The steed, no, I didn't much care for it. And my only complaint with, say, the hires, actually, I mean, I love the way they look, but I'm going to be honest, I kind of would have liked to have seen an artificer hire before an alchemist hire.
And
It
I
would have
would have
made more
liked to
sense as
see.
an artificer.
I actually think the hirelings probably have the best cosmetic of any of them. I wish we could have. I think Doug was
They
saying
I
that
they,
think
they
you
are
earlier.
can.
they are sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I think you
we
could mirror those
should have gotten
later.
those cosmetics.
From the
I'm
images I've
pretty.
seen, yeah, I agree. I like their cosmetic.
I'm pretty sure you can mirror that outfit later. I'm pretty sure that's gear in Lamortia.
I hope
I
so.
wouldn't doubt it. I hope so
Oh,
too. Yeah,
okay.
that would be pretty cool.
You're right. That could definitely be the case. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, because the gear from Ravenloft, you can basically look like Esmeralda or any of the other NPCs you see running around. So
Esmeralda's outfit, I mean, they're similar, but I think
Orange.
hers is a little bit more orange
It's
than the one you can
pretty.
glamour. Yeah.
yeah,
I
So
kind of want that.
my quick thoughts. I love cosmetics because I can dress up my characters the way I want to dress them up, combine different things you find different combinations that make your characters look cool. That's why I like cosmetics. I love mounts in general because I try to pair up the mount with whatever my character's wearing. Um, I'm just trying to figure out when the heck I'm going to actually pair up a goat, fish, horse, conglomerate hybrid thing and what outfit's going to go with it, right? That's the big thing for me. It's the dilemma of marrying your
It,
cosmetics with your mount.
the clown outfit. Whenever they finally release the clown outfit, that's going to be it.
it's going to
Uh,
come out with the expand. It's going to come out when they release the Quest pack, where reveal that Dirk is the chief acolyte of the true Lord of Zoriat, Nibbles.
Yeah.
But like when we saw that mount, Voodoo actually thought that was a monster, and like everyone was like, "It's a Capricorn, it's this," and I'm like, "No, that thing is a flesh golem mount."
When I saw
So
Gollum at first, I got excited at first, like, oh my god, we get to like be on the shoulders of a iron golem or something. That would be amazing for a mount, but no,
But I
not that kind of golem.
really do. I agree with Doug. I think the best cosmetic would have been the Plague Doctor outfit. I think that by far it was the coolest thing. And I was really surprised that they came out with an alchemist hireling. I'm still trying to figure out, is it going to be good? I haven't used it yet, so I haven't really had a chance to play with it.
Yeah, that's the next thing I was
It's
going to ask about. What do you guys think about the hireling? Have you all
the
been using
AI
it?
it has is stupid.
In the limited amount I've tried it, because I did just pull it out when I was running legendaries just to see how it was, and yeah, it wasn't really doing much.
Its
I
melt
think
lock is underperforming. It's not getting the locks that it should, and it focuses on throwing its dagger rather than throwing its vials.
And the useful things it's supposed to have for anyone listening is it does have the melt lock, as Inman was saying, which is basically an open lock ability, and it's supposed to have a healing vial, although it wasn't really using it much from when I was playing with
Because
it.
it's touch range, like
Oh, is
he
it?
literally has to run up to you and use it.
It has to throw it at your feet, yeah, or at its own feet, I think.
Yeah, because it's a self only vial. I think but for some reason it can use it on you. So it's a code. It's coded all silly, and its AI is all dumb, and it should be ashamed
It
of
can't be as
itself.
bad as Haystack, bro.
Yeah, but you know what's the worst one is Ferguson with that spider.
I think we've been spoiled by Rana from Myth Drenor.
Mm-hmm.
That is they set a bar with these expansion hirelings when we got Rana, and now we're regressing, right? They were slowly getting better, right? At least Darling could do traps and other stuff, and then you end up getting, Rana, and it's like that's one of the best hirelings we've gotten. And now we got Drossheart, and from what I'm hearing, it's not anything special.
I'll tell you, from 14 to 20, it's just Rana and 10 piece. That's the combo. I don't even bother changing out my hirelings to 20. It's just give me 10 piece, give me Rana, and I am good until epic levels.
For me, it's all any trapper hireling and yeah, Rana. It's the fact that she's a ranged healer, so she doesn't get herself killed. Her AI is smart, she stays far away, and she actually uses her spells. And you don't have to tell her to reincarnate you when you die. She does it automatically.
Wait, you die? What's that like?
It's really good because you don't have to work.
Yeah,
Hiking for the win.
I think they've
Obviously,
reached
Nomad's never seen any of my streams.
I think they've reached the limit of what they can do with hirelings in terms of how good they can make them. Because you really want healing or picks, lockpick and trapping abilities out of it, and they really can't do anything other than make them look cool and offer them at different level ranges. I will say, yeah, Rana's amazing, and then I use the what's the rat one called at level 18? I used the one from
Darling.
Darling, yeah. I use her because she at level 18 can get most of the traps through like low mid epics. So like if I'm running House of Death Undone, I'll pull her out so she can get the locked door. But yeah, I don't know what they want to. I guess they should focus on just making them look cool and do cool things rather than be like power creepy. Because we all know they aren't going to make hirelings like ever super good for
Just
lots of
focus on
reasons.
doing their job.
Make
Yeah.
them-
Yeah.
Or
no,
make the AI
so
better. Yeah.
this
They
is
are an
what they need
assistant,
to do.
after all.
This is what all hirelings from now on need to be trappers, Orlocks, or Rana. Just make them at different levels.
Warlock,
Rana's
Strappers,
good.
or Rana, the three
Rana's
the
good.
three classes of hirelings in DDO, right? the Rana class.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, maybe
I
they'll
think it's
improve
good
them
if
going forward.
I think an Orlock hireling would be kind of cool because at least it would add some DPS when it's hanging out with you.
When I wish the healing would be better because at least you could use the level 8 one, from 8 till 14 so you can get Rana, right? That would be nice.
Mhm.
And the upside is that she's not going to do that stupid thing of, I've got you primarily to heal me, and it's like, right, I'll just attack all the opposition and nuke them till I've got no spell points left. And when I've got a few left and you do want resing or healing, I'm just going to say, no thanks. I've wasted it all. Like, is it Albus, the guy that just nukes everybody and has no spell points left to heal you, the favoured soul?
No, it's
that's
Larafay.
Lara Frey, that's the one. Yeah,
Lara
Lara
Faye,
Frey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
or Karen. If any in our guild, we realized the female favored souls are just new crazy.
There's actually a blurb in each contract that tells you what they do in combat.
Yeah, there is. If you read that, it'll let you know, oh, this guy's going to focus more on keeping me safe and not destroying everything.
There's like one that's like he's super racist against Sawagan, and like he'll just ignore everything. You go for Sawagan. But there's
Oh,
SSG / turbine lore to that. The old hirelings are specifically designed. The lower level, the more useful. The higher level, the more character they have rather than usefulness.
All right,
Yeah, so
guys.
the
And
high
this
level
is
ones want to be
intentionals.
they want to be your buddy. They don't want to help you. They just want to just have a drink with you in a tavern.
But that's the old hirelings, like the ones that you purchase for plat and in the store. The perma hirelings, all the new ones that they made SSG era, doesn't follow that formula. Is that Cordovan actually talked about this one time? He's like, it's a funny story because he hooked up with that guy again in a hotel. No, I was kidding. He told him the story. He's like, wow, that's funny. So we have hirelings that are purposely designed dumb. It's great.
All right, guys. Anything else on the hirelings before we move on to the next topic? All right. So next we have a big change in the game, which is the introduction of the Potion of Loot Ransack Reset, which is now it's now exclusive when I read it off the bundle components earlier, but you got 1 in the collectors and then 2 additional in the Ultimate Fan bundle. So what do you guys think about this? Like now there are ways to bypass Ransack. Are you a fan, not a fan?
I'm a fan.
Should this be in the DDO store? That's the other question.
Yes, I'm a fan if it's going to be available in the future. Because what's the point of just 3, right? Like if I give you $130 and I can, loot this chest, with 23 more times or whatever? Or it's just like
it's 8 times.
It's kind of redundant. It's kind of redundant. If it's just a flash in the pan, it needs to come back as a feature. And honestly, this is like 8 years late. This should have been in the game. This should have been a VIP feature. That would make VIP way more worth VIP.
I think that would be a mistake. But
I'm not too sure. I have a dog in this fight because that's the reason why I have 40 level 34 alts. I mean, I've never ransacked a chest and not being able to loot it again. So,
well, I'm like Abracadabra. I focus on one tune, and when he ransacks, it's a sad story. I just get on an alt, and he's weak and helpless.
Well, you can make a first life alt really good. You just need to gear them out.
I'm not smart like you, Axel. Sorry, no,
I can't divide my attention between multiple characters. There's too much to do with one character. You have how many racials now? You have how many class? If you want the triple completionist for the passive bonuses, you got the epics. How are you going to do that with 40 different characters? Like that is insane to me.
But let's bring it back to the ransack thing.
That's the point. Is that almost all of my characters are there just for end game grinding, just in case I need something and I have to ransack chests. I have plenty of opportunities. I really only play three tunes. I only play my triple completionist, and then I play my 2 mains that are set up for end game rating.
And that's how you're supposed to do it. Yeah, I wish I could do it like you, but I have my own mental hangups. So, but I feel like this thing is long owed to us. I feel like they need to make it more available after this whole thing. And yeah, it's great. I love it. It's probably like the star thing. The only reason why I didn't bring it up on why you should buy the big bundle is because I feel like it's just been owed to us. Like I know me and Samus. You remember Samus Grobo?
I do. Yeah. He's listened to his podcast.
Him and I've been trying to get Cordovan to do this for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, it's just like, finally. You know what I mean?
I typically don't ransack things. I usually 3 or 4 tries, and I'm like, okay, moving on. And then I'll catch it the next life, right? So, but I understand that there are many people out there that play and ransack to find that one piece of gear, and then they have to wait a week or whatever. I get where this would be a big moneymaker for SSG if they would throw this in the store. So that I think they should put it in the store permanently after this.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I'll play devil's
sensible.
advocate. I'm not a fan of this, and I don't want it to be in the store for 2 reasons. Number one is basically to give you a reason to have an alt. I think that's good for the game, and it's. I know a lot of people focus on one character, but it's really like not too hard just to have a couple alts. All you got to do is gear them out. I mean, I have a first life tank that tanks R10s, no problem. I have a first life DPS character who's really good DPS for rating, and it's not too hard to have an alt. And I think it's a good thing to encourage alts, and they've slowly taken away reasons to have alts in the game. So I think that's good. And number 2, I'm a little concerned about people who not having any stopgap for looting a chest. Like there's people with problems who might dump all their money, and I like there being some kind of built-in gate for people to get them to do something else, so they don't just dump all their money to ransack. Especially when we're
So-
seeing this,
Yes, I'm
the
gonna
problem in this also would justify SSG doing more of the rare loot. So it's like, are they just making the rare loot problem and then selling us a solution in the store? I'm not a fan of that. It will justify more low loot rates. Like, I don't think you should have to buy a bunch of ransack resets in order to get gear. I think the drop rate should be high enough to where you can get it in a reasonable amount of time without having to use those in the store. And if we see them in the store, we're just going to see lower and lower drop rates because you're going to be able to bypass the ransack now. So that's going to allow the developers to justify putting lower drop rates into the game and more rare.
But you're
loot that I don't wanna
penalizing
see.
people for having bad
Preach it,
luck
brother.
too.
What's that, Niven?
You're penalizing people who have bad RNG. There was a hardcore season where I had to run Death House 100 times, and when I would not go to sleep until I pulled these boots, and I ran people through it just in case one of them pulled the boots and were like, "Wow, you're running this 100 times, risking your tune's life to get these boots, and you help me get this favor. I'll give you the boots." And eventually, it did happen, but I stripped that chest. I've literally ran it to the dirt, and I didn't want to make an alt to rerun it or anything. And should I get penalized for bad RNG? I don't feel like I did the work. I should be able to loot what I want if I really want it.
Yeah, we can go down a rabbit hole with regards to the rare loot. I think one of the things that came up in discussion was the timing of the release of this, considering all of the issues with the rare loot coming out of Mithranor, and the fact that there are people who spent God knows how much money on astral shards for rerolls for the chests to try to pull the loot, right? So I could see both arguments. I generally don't ransack a chest. I mean, I'll run something until I hit 8 pulls, and then that's it. I'm done. I hardly even re-roll chests. I'll just ransack it. But that's me. Having something like this, I mean, these 3, I might, if there's a certain item I'm looking for. Eventually, I will get a Jack Gibbers for my main character, which I have yet to pull after after how many years? I have 1 on a tune that I play occasionally. Right. So I could see both ways. I don't mind it being in the store for those people who want to use it. And you don't have to purchase it if you don't want to. You could just ransack the chest and then do whatever. It's another way for us to monetize the game. So it's just, it's 6 and 1, half dozen the other. I'm fine either way.
Sorry, go on, Doug.
Yes, I wanted to really touch on what you had said about having poor RNG. Now, I play lots of alts. Lots of them. I've taken numerous characters to 20. And I've noticed that I think that there's somewhere when you roll up a character, somewhere deep in the background, where it
There's a luck factor.
kind of sets your luck factor, your RNG seed, because I ran numerous characters trying to get the emissary's vestments out of. Must have ran it 400 or 500 times. You can go back and see it. Well, you used to be able to go back and see it on the streams. But I have a character who literally goes into almost any quest first time pull.
I've been very lucky on certain RNG pulls. Like, it seems like when raids come out, I tend to, like, I remember when Caught in the Web first came out, I got the exact item I wanted first time I ran it. When Project Nemesis came out, I got the exact item I wanted from the chest. I'm pulling it myself first time. I got the necklace. So
Yeah,
I don't know,
I'm
maybe
terrible for pulling anything.
I think I just tend to have good RNG in the game generally.
Raids,
Guess all your
I
luck's
buy my
coming to
raid
me.
loot.
I have a real life friend that plays this with me. A couple of them actually, but he is like that. He is just like Axel. There,
Yeah.
He runs something, and it's like, hey, I got this, and we've run it 30 times and never even seen it. And this guy jumps in one time and, oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, I could just slap that dude.
I remember the guy like that. Yeah.
I think Jack Gibbers took me maybe 15 runs to get. something like that.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I've
sorry,
never
sorry to
gotten it
hurt
on
your
my
feelings.
main. All these years, I've never pulled it on my name. On my
It took
main.
me 5 years to pull one.
I ran that quest with an alt because a guildie was trying to get it, and I didn't have a character that level other than my alt. So I ran it, pulled it first. I got it the first time we ran it, and of course I was giving it to him because I never play that alt. That alt is an opener. I have that character set to open Shadow Crypt and things like that. And I got it and I was like, I hate this game.
Yeah, the character I was talking about, first time Jibbers. It was crazy. But also the biggest thing is I've only pulled before they made it viable with antique bronze tokens. I've only pulled 4 rings of spellstoring, all on that character.
I still have never pulled one in the 15 years I've been playing a Ring of Spellstoring.
Yeah, I've never gotten one either.
I never pulled one either. Of course, I never really farmed for it, but I did obviously end up getting it after they did the whole that update where they made it purchasable for bronze tokens.
Where do you
You know
buy
what's
it?
sad?
Yep.
You buy it where you always turn in antique bronze tokens. That little store.
Yeah,
next
this was
to
like 3 years ago, something like that.
I did that. Yeah.
Something
I
like his name's like
I did
Messi.
not know that.
You know what's funny is that before they did that, I turned in all my antiques bronze tokens looking for rare leveling up clickies
Yeah,
because
I threw mine away like
that was a thing.
the year before
That
they
was a
made
thing.
that update, and I had to. It's not a big deal. It's not too hard to refarm. It's not that much of
I
a
have thousands
farm.
of those things in my
Yeah,
bag.
man,
It's
you can go
nice.
buy a
It's
ring of
nice.
spell storing, whirlwind,
Yeah.
whatever you want from Sands, you can buy. Obviously not the raid loot, but
Right.
At the
The wilderness
time they
loot.
made the change, I had 30,000. That's how much I ran Manic Terran.
Oh, you can stock up with all the Sans gear for that. Oh yes.
well, we can get into the rare loot a little bit if you all want. So we with Lamortia, because I did a YouTube video a couple weeks ago where they even put out a little statement where they had to clarify because so many people were asking when the pre-orders came out, is it going to have rare loot? And there was a thread with dozens and dozens of pages on the forums, and they came out and made a little statement basically saying that yes, rare loot is going to be in Lamortia, but it's going to have a higher drop rate than even the buff drop rate for Mithranor, and apparently it's going to be tied to getting additional augment slots. We don't really know how vital the rare element is going to be with the loot. We probably won't see until the loot goes on preview on Lamania, which it hasn't been yet. So what do y'all think about that? About it coming back?
I'm going to be honest here. When I first heard the rare loot concept, since I never get any raids either, I just wrote it off. I just don't. I'm just going to pretend it doesn't exist. And if I get one, it will be happy birthday to me, I suppose.
That's how I feel. I've yet to see any of that stuff, and I feel like the way they designed it, the RNG aspect of that, it's like, why even bother? That's too much. Like, I don't know. I don't.
Well, I
It's
get
kind of
it.
aggravating.
In the idea, you want to put because like people like me, I don't get a chance to raid that often, but you want to put that kind of power in ordinary quests, but you don't want to make it common that people just farm the quests and never do any raids. And I kind of get that, but when the drop rates are just so abysmally poor, I just write it off.
well, so I so it's a slider of relevancy, right? So because like when something is like 1 in 100, that means you just run it 100 times. One of those times you'll get it, right? Because it's 1 in 100, right? So depending on how much kids and employment you have, it's the rarer the loot is, because that means you won't be able to play DDO so much to get it. I just got my
That's just on
Warblade
average you'll get it. If
items.
something's 1 in 100, yeah, you on average will get it 1 in 100 times, but you could have bad luck, and
Allegedly.
it could
Yeah.
take you 200, 300,
I
400 with
I,
with below average luck.
I end up getting pretty much all the loot I wanted out of Myth Janor after and I didn't even I was a late farmer. I didn't want to upgrade to it, And then like last month, I just knocked it out in 4 weeks with help with friends. But that's the thing is like I had to rely on not myself. If you're relying on yourself, if you don't have a lot of time, it's going to become less attainable to you. And if you also have bad RNG, and that sucks for people who have important things going on in their life. Like I said earlier, am I being penalized for bad luck? These people are penalized for having kids, a family, and a job. You know what I mean? Like they don't have that much time to dedicate for the rare items, and that sucks for them.
Yeah.
And some of these rare items you still need to go into raid to upgrade them, like the light armor of the Warblade to unlock it. You have to do the raid, and you have to get the Warblade sigil and the sword too. The swords. It's just like, you can't please everyone. They tried to do something unique. I think they should do. I think what that note says is that they're trying to draw it back to more of like an Isle of Dread style with a little of Myth Janor style of loot
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I think that would be the sweet spot. I want to see how this is implemented because I think this is going to be pleasant for people who actually have a life and don't have a lot of time to dedicate to this passion that they have, and to people where this is their life, like me.
And the casual player is stuck using the Ember Great Axe because they don't have time to farm everything out. So they're level 15 running around with the Korthos weapon, because they only play an hour a week. You know what I mean? Like,
Been there. Yeah. I mean, I a long time ago made peace with the fact that I'm not going to get all the gear I need and want, but you can make do with the things you actually get along the way. You will find something that's not ideal, but you're comfortable with using from a certain level. Like if I get to like the Thunderhome stage and I get the weapons from there, they will do for me. You'd rather have something better, but they're good. They're there. You can get them. So I made peace with the fact that I'm not always going to have everything I want, but I'm going to get something that's going to do the job. So that's my take on it.
That's good spirit. I love that.
I think that's why they need to do a Kenneth crafting revamp. And they don't need to do a big one. Either they need to solve the problem of too many collectibles for too many recipes, or they need a traded system so you can get the collectibles that you need to get the gear that you want. Now, they had the chance to do this with the VIP crafting token, and they were disastrous in the first year. And now we have to wait 7 more months to get the one we want in the second year, which I've gone off even on the official channel on that. But more importantly, that's only VIP. And so what we really need is just, even if it's 5 to 1, because that's the way they scale, we need a trading system so we can trade useless craftables for useful ones.
So here's my take on the rare loot thing. I know I don't play a lot of endgame, right? So for me, I'm not gonna try to chase down all of that rare loot. If I happen to get something, running Vecna or running Mithranor, great. But for me, the big thing is find stuff that I can use at the different levels. Usually it's Feywild to 15, and then Sharn from 15 to 30, with a mixture of other stuff. It's just kind of how I've done it. But I think one of the biggest issues with the rare loot in Mithranor was the fact that they put the augments and the items on the same rare table, right? Separate the two out so you have a chance to get a rare augment and you have a chance to get rare loot, but they're different. They're not on the same table. I think that was one of the biggest issues with it. It made it so difficult to get you have to get the loot, and then you have to get the augments to put into the loot to do what you want to do with the thing, right? But if it's all on the same table, it just makes it that much more difficult to get all those items. I think if they change that, it would be a good change.
Yeah,
it definitely didn't help.
Big rare table. Rare table should not be big, should not be overloaded. Otherwise, even if you get a rare item, odds are it's not going to be the one you want.
Yeah, like I think one of
Yeah.
the big issues with Myth/Drannor, and I think they've hopefully learned from this, and I'm pretty optimistic. I don't think Lamortia is going to be nearly as bad as Myth/Drannor was, because they've learned, they've heard, and they've already mentioned it's going to be a higher drop rate than even the buff drop rate. Myth/Drannor, we don't know how much that means. It could be 0.1% for all we know, but potentially, but more than likely it'll be a few percent higher to get the rare table, and I hope they don't have as much rare loot just in total in the expansion. Like, I would like to see maybe 5 to 10, I mean, at most 1 per quest. That way you only have 1 item on the rare table, so we don't have any issue with diluted tables. That would be wonderful. And I hope there are things that are more special, like unique effects, or just better versions of, like, common. Like, it would be nice if there was a common version of anything that's rare. So, like, if there was a common augment of fort bypass, there could be a rare version, but maybe the rare version had an extra 3% or something. And so you could go for the common or go for the rare. But
like another filigree system.
Yeah, I mean, something to where you can just have a common version. The thing that really sucked is they took previous common effects, like the one I mentioned in videos I've done, is the fort bypass one, which that was a common effect on melee sets. Like, it's on the Sharn part of the family set. And for some reason, with Myth/Drannor, they took that effect and gated it behind rare tables and made it, oh, this is a rare augment now. Like, nothing that's a common effect historically should be in a rare table. Make it something either that's brand new and special, or make it a slightly better version of a common effect. That's what I think. I'm cool with the super rare things, like the Gibber's Blade is cool. I think that's awesome, but it gives you something to grind for, but make it not essential. I think an item that would be really good for this purpose would be a Deedor Clicky. They should add that to the game and just give it a super low drop rate. So, like, that would be an item you could grind for if you want that. And if you don't want it, you don't have to grind for it. And it would be nice to have, but not required.
Yeah, like the mask from the teleport
Restless
mask.
Isles, yeah.
Yes.
Royal Guard mask. Yeah, that's another good example.
Yeah.
Yeah, just add things that are, if you really want to go for it, or you're a super min maxer and you want that extra, like I said in that example, 3% fort bypass, you can grind the rares. But if you don't want to grind the rares, you can just get the poor man's common version of it on a regular table.
The only other teleport clicky I can think of offhand would be the belt of braided beards from Defiler of the Jest. I think.
Yep. You're correct.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's the only other teleport clicky.
I just use UMD, man. On every character I make, they got UMD, so I can use teleport scrolls, heal scrolls, whatever.
There's a few characters that may, like a half-orc barbarian or something, you have no intelligence and you may not have any skill points. But there's a couple.
Or a monk.
Yeah, situations where I don't have any skill points. But yeah, for the most part, I'm the same way. I always put UMD on my characters. I may have one, I think, that doesn't have UMD.
I always forego Constitution on a melee type fighter barbarian that doesn't get a lot of skill points. I will drop my con down to as low as a 14 just to put intelligence so I can get some skill points.
There's a guy on Thelanis who has purposely created a character at cap, which is with as little as hit points as possible. And it's hilarious every time he joins my group. But his character is really good outside of having no hit points. It's just, I asked him, like, why do you have no hit points? He's like, well, just for the challenge. I like it.
Yeah, there's somebody like that on Kyber too. Got one of those old curse things. And yeah, he runs around with no gear, and his Constitution, you can look it up, or you used to be able to look it up, and it's 6 at level, or out at the time, level 20.
Yeah, he has like a few, I forget how many hit points he has. Like, it's only like a few hundred at cap, something like that. It's really, really small. Like maybe 300 or 400.
Dude.
Like, he's done everything he can to have as few hit points as possible. It's so funny. Okay, well, is there anything else you guys want to say about the rare loot in Lamortia? Lots left to see on that.
Hope it's good.
I hope it's not. I hope it's in a good place.
Okay. Get much of it. That's the out. Yeah. How much are you going to get? Not much.
Well, is there anything else?
I hope there's things I want to mirror. It's been a long time since I have a stack of almost 30 mirrors of glamoring.
Yeah, that's another thing you could do. I like they have the rare loot in Like the Fred's First Date chain, they have the fish swords in the last quest that are rare, but they're just there because they're basically for the cosmetics. I mean, they're not a bad item either, but I think having rare loot be cosmetics is another cool thing you could do. It's another awesome route you could go. Okay.
But it would be nice to be able to use those mirrors this expansion.
Is there anything else you guys want to go ahead, Doug?
I want to just say really something about that. We were talking about the mirrors. One of the changes that they've made in the last couple of updates was the fact that they finally added more mix and match pieces to random gen outfits, and I really appreciated that.
Well, is there anything else you guys want to say about the miscellaneous things? So like teleport clicky, extra storage space, and the +1 tome
Yeah.
in the bundles. I think it's the last thing we haven't talked about.
One thing we didn't touch on at all, which I think is one of the greatest things from this whole freaking bundle, is the brain in a jar, man. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mentioned it in the cosmetics, but no one said anything about it. So until
I
now,
Cool.
love
That's
that.
cool.
I wish it was a
the
little
creature
bigger.
companions were great.
I can't. It's hard for me to see the brain. I wish they would make it maybe, I don't know, 33% bigger.
I
The
wish
cosmetic
one
pack.
of its animated emotes was like it moved and then stopped, and the brain smacks to the side of the jar because it stops so suddenly.
Got a concussion.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, the concussion trick. DDO store exclusive. I'm just kidding, guys. It doesn't really exist for anyone listening.
Does anybody
Yeah, go ahead.
Does anybody care about the character slot? I mean, is that, I've seen that with almost every fan bundle. They have the extra character slot. Is that really a big deal?
It's really just
Not for
there
me.
because they don't want you. I'm sure. I'm speculating here, but it's got to be there just because you bought these new races or whatever, and they want to make it so you can actually play them.
It's an extra freebie, I think.
I don't
also.
think
They
it's-
said, oh, let's throw this in for the hell of it.
It's really there out of necessity, so you can play the new things you bought now if you have all your slots full.
I,
At least that's the way I see it.
I absolutely hate it. It just feeds my addiction. It's
It
It's drawing me
it's an
back in.
enabler.
Yeah,
I think
you will have another character that you don't really want. You will.
I think it's great for newer players who don't have that many character slots yet, or might not have gone VIP, right? So I think that's a good thing. But considering, we're going to be touching on it here in a second, but considering in a few days, everyone's going to get 10 more character slots, it doesn't have as much appeal. But I could see it for someone who's new and wants additional character slots.
See, I don't understand the appeal to a new character simply because if they're a new character and they're not even VIP, are they really going to drop $140, $130 on this game that they're kind of new to and still feeling out? Like, I don't know.
Might. If you have the disposable income, some might.
And you can buy character slots in the store, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
I say
Like,
just
it's
go
really-
VIP.
No, I can't.
That's why I'm saying it's really just there so that you just have more slots to play the new stuff if your slots are full. That's
I get it.
I assure you, I cannot buy character slots in the store.
Some people
You're
are going to be
maxed out.
maxed out.
yeah.
They're definitely going to be
There
maxed
is a
out.
there's a cap.
I've got this new race. Or I've got this new iconic. Oh, look, there's the slot that I need because everything else is maxed out. I might only have 6 slots, but they're full of characters. You don't want to delete one. So yeah, for players that need the slots, I don't need it, but yeah, it's there. It's an extra freebie thrown into the pack.
I know. I'm just
Take it.
joking.
Oh, it wasn't a dig at you, Glenn. It wasn't a dig at you. It's
I'll
fine.
admit, I'm ridiculous. Come on, there are a few people I know who are like me.
I'm sure you're not the only person that has maxed out their character slots on every server or so. You know what I mean?
Oh,
There's
for definite.
plenty of people
For real.
that have done
I
that.
just recently did that when they were on discount.
Yeah, I bought a whole bunch. They just had sorry for anyone listening and didn't know about it, but you missed it. But there was a 75% off character slot sale. I bought, I think, 15. So I should never have to. And plus, and then we found out, they're on sale because they're going to give us a bunch of free ones afterwards,
If I had known,
which was
I wouldn't
great.
have
I wouldn't have
bought
bought
the
as many. They got me. You got me, SSG,
Yeah,
because I
well,
wouldn't
I
have
mean,
bought
that-
as many
that was the
had I
plan,
known.
right?
Yeah, that was definitely planned
get-
by marketing. But
to get some
They
money
got
from
me.
you before they gave it to you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But so that I was like, that's so suspicious. These are on 75% off. They've never been on sale for that. But that's why, because they were going to give you a bunch for free after. But so I have
So
more slots than I'll ever use. I'll never have to buy another character slot again.
I have 18 character slots, and I don't think I've ever used all of them. I only have 5 characters right now. That's it.
With the free ones,
like
what is it?
42
10 free
characters.
ones? Is it 10? Because I think I'm up to 53 now. Which,
Jesus.
yeah, I'm never
How many are
gonna.
empty though?
I'm never
How
gonna
many are
use.
spare?
I'm never gonna use even half that because I'm
Holy
negative.
cow.
Some people do. Some people have everything maxed out
Bank tunes.
because they keep
I have
everything.
I have everything except the seasonal pass on my account. So like everything's maxed out. I have like 580 shared bank right now.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Jeez.
What? Okay, for anyone listening, through August 31st, the coupon code 100 slots will give you, and it has to be all caps. So 100SLOTS, all caps, will give you 100 free shared bank slots. So claim it permanently. Don't
Which
miss
is
it.
huge. That is huge.
Oh my god, it's pronounced slots. Oh,
Oh.
I owe my audience an
Wow.
apology.
Yes, make sure it's an O there. It's an O.
Yeah, that
Not
is
the other thing.
for those that may be watching that are new. That is huge. Slots are not cheap. That is
Yeah.
a big giveaway. Use it. Take advantage
That's
of it.
the best giveaway ever, I think.
It's a
It's the
game
biggest
changer.
one. Yeah.
Something to note though is if you have not purchased shared bank, you could still use the code. It will flag your account with 100 extra slots, but you will not be able to access it until you have purchased the first tier of shared bank.
Or go VIP.
Or
Well
go
worth
VIP.
it. Well,
Yeah.
I tend to tell new players to save the store points, not buy anything straight away. Wait for packs to go on sale. But yeah, if you want the slots, if you're a free to play, but you want those slots, it's well worth investing just a little bit just to get that, because that is huge. That is, I mean, to earn that or to actually buy it, it's if you get the chance, do it. Definitely.
And it's just a few dollars,
Yeah.
quote unquote dollars, to get the shared bank unlock, right? So if that's all you ever spend on this game, at least you get the premium upgrade there, and you get all these slots for just a few bucks.
Yeah, and without it, you can't pass bound to account stuff without mailing. I mean, you can't. I remember back in the day when I was a free to play player, I would be mailing gear to other characters. That's what I did because I didn't
I've
have
heard
shared
about it,
bank.
yeah.
But
I
yeah,
remember
you
those
can't.
days.
But if you don't have shared bank, and that's only unbound stuff, you can't mail bound to account stuff. So if you don't have shared bank, you can't move, bound to account stuff around. So it's one of the better purchases if you are, a free to play player. You're looking to buy stuff that's useful. I mean, assuming you want to play multiple characters. Even if you don't want to play multiple characters, pretty much everyone has other characters to be bank tunes. So you can't pass stuff to bank tunes without shared bank. So you kind of need to get it at some point. You don't have to, but you won't be able to keep much if you don't.
Yeah, that's what mine's for. My out of my 5 characters, I have my main, and I have three mules. One's 1 to 10, 11 to 19, and then I have one that's for epic gear. And if without that shared bank, oh my god, like what would be the point, So shared bank is just very valuable, as Axel said, even if you're not planning on playing alts.
So is there anything else you guys want to say on the bundles before we get into server transfers? All right. Well, let's get into server transfers. So the big day is close. On Tuesday, we're going to have the big day where they're going to open the 64-bit servers and everyone can transfer. So that is, again, Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. And we're going to have 3 new 64-bit game worlds on that date. They're going to be Shadowdale, Thrain, and Moonsea. Shadowdale and Thrain are in Las Vegas, and then Moonsea is in the Netherlands and Europe. And there's also going to obviously be Cormyr, which still exists, which is also in Las Vegas. So there's going to be 4. The number of servers is going to be cut down to 4. So what do you guys think? Are you happy with that number? I was kind of hoping it would be 3, but 4 is what I was expecting, and that's what we got.
I'm not happy. I would like to have seen 2 U.S. servers, Cormyr plus 1 other. I feel like that is all they need. They just don't have the player base to have 3 U.S. servers. I don't see why they need 3. Maybe a third one for events, but 2 main live servers.
Well, because they don't have any financial incentive to have more servers than they need. So my assumption is that that's what the engineers, after evaluating the game, felt that the game needed in order to run well. Because you need to have you need to have the fewer servers the better in terms of having more players to play with, but you may need to have more servers just so the servers aren't laggy. And I guess that's what they felt what would be the good balance there.
Yeah, if you inspect DDO audit, the peak amount of viewers or players at any given time can reach up to 3,000. Um, and I heard, and this is not all dev sort. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that like servers are pretty cool at 1.6K active. So having, 3 sounds like it would be pretty healthy for gameplay and population ratio on the peak times. But
Yeah,
like,
here-
I don't know.
Right, but that
It-
3,000 is getting significantly reduced by the number of people that are going to be moving to Moonsea.
That's true.
Yeah, true. I mean, I'm quite happy with the servers being how they are. Obviously, the most important thing for most players is they'll have a bigger pool of players to play with. I stream from Cormier and I play mainly with people in the US, so I'm obviously going to stay on Cormier. But Moonsea is also nice for me because I'm in England, so I'm just over the water from where the new server is going to be. And yeah, I think it's going to be a nice balance because you're going to get, obviously, some people have characters on Moonsea that are based in the US and vice versa. But yeah, the servers, if they work out as they should do, should be able to handle the population. Plus, we'll get more choice of people we can play with. I might look and think, I want to play with Doug on his character and mine, but I can't because he's on this server and he's 7th. But yeah, less servers, more chance of getting to play with people that you want to play with, have a new experience, and I think it's not bad. 3 in the States, 1 in the UK, in Europe, sorry. I'm happy with that. I'm sure it'll be 50-50. Some will be and some won't be.
Oh, and a quick
I
note for anyone, just real quick, who hasn't been keeping up with this that's listening. There was Shadowdale was Oric. They changed the name after what, a week, less than a week, because people
Yep.
hated the name. Basically, the community hated the name. It was pretty
They made
clear,
I
fun
love
of
the
him.
name.
and
They
people
bullied
couldn't.
them so bad.
It was hard for people to pronounce, so they changed
I
it
love
to
the name.
Shadowdale.
The name
I
is
actually
good.
liked Oric.
I don't care. For me, the name could be, I don't. You could name him Jeets and Salimus and
I
Talbram,
was
and that'd
gonna
be
make
fine.
I
I don't
was
care.
I was gonna make so many vacuum based memes because of that name.
Yeah, yeah. Work vacuum.
Yeah, I initially thought that we would end up with 3. I figured there'd be 3 additional servers. That was my initial thought. And as I started thinking more about it, I figured that Standing Stone would look and see, okay, we hit this peak number, so let's do 1 EU server and then like 2 US, one of those being Cormier. So I thought we were going to end up with 3. Initially, I thought we'd have 4, like 3 US or 1 EU or 2 and 2. However, they decided to split it. But as time went by, I'm thinking, okay, based on the player count, more than likely it'll probably be 3 total, including Cormier. So I was surprised that they actually decided to do 3 in the US. But I think overall, though, I think you're going to see more than likely a pretty even spread across the servers. But I honestly think that Moonsea, based on what I'm seeing, is probably going to be very populated. Probably even more so than some of the other US based servers. I wouldn't be surprised if Moonsea is the most populated server.
Yeah. I mean, you've got places like Asia as well, where people are going to go, hang on, we're closer to Europe than we are to the States. Yeah, I'm going to go Moonsea. And Asia's a bloody big place, you know. So yeah, it's going to be more populated than people would expect, I would imagine.
I follow a lot of people over on the junior service, and it was amazing because they said all these same things, like, well, we're limiting the number of servers and whatnot. How long did it take them to add two more servers over on Lotro? It was like with the quickness. So I think they gave themselves one more server of space. And with DDO, I don't think we're going to see the if we do see an additional server added, it will probably because Moonsea got too big. I'll agree with that analysis. But I think they took a look at what they went through over on Lotro, realized that a lot of servers became impacted, added two more servers and gave people a chance to reshuffle. I think they went from 9 to 6 eventually, but they originally were going low too.
So for anyone listening, so the way this is going to work is free transfers are going to start again August 15th or July 15th, I'm sorry. It was July 9th. They pushed it back 1 week. So it's July 15th. So you have basically 2 weeks to transfer. And on August 31st, the 32-bit game worlds are temporarily not going to be available to even access to transfer. And after August 31st, you won't be able to play regularly on them. You'll just be able to log on, and they'll just be ghost servers where you can have the option to transfer off, but you can't run quests or anything like that. So you basically have 2 weeks to transfer. If you don't transfer within those 2 weeks, there will be some period where you're going to have to wait for them to transition the 32-bit worlds to ghost worlds. We don't know how long that's going to be, but they will come back for transfer off only. So really you want to transfer during those 2 weeks. Or if you don't at all, then you won't be able to play the game for some period of time before they get those back.
Years.
Yeah. Well,
Axel,
no. Well, no.
Axel, it'll be almost 2 months, not 2 weeks. You've been saying 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. For some reason, I was on my paper. I'm sorry. It's August 31st. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Gonna scare people, man.
For some reason, I had July 31st. Yeah. Forget what I said, guys.
Period
I might actually edit that out.
The Ghost World period is going to be 2 years, and after that, everything's lost.
Yeah. Let me correct myself. So it's July 15th to August 31st. You have to do the transfers, and then on August 31st, they're going to be transitioned to Ghost Worlds, and at that point, there'll be some period of time we have to wait for them to transition to Ghost Worlds, but then they'll be reopened for transfers, and then they won't close for good until as Ghost Worlds for another 2 years. So. Yeah, sorry for the mix-up there, guys. But yeah, that's basically what's going on. So, did I get that right? Hopefully,
that sounded about right to me, yeah.
Okay, all right. So what do you guys think about, what do we think is going to happen after the 2 years? I think they're going to delete everything after the 2 years.
Yeah, I know. They said it last Friday at 4 it's gone. You won't be able to access it.
I, at one point, was thinking maybe they're just saying that to get people to, encourage people to log in and transfer, but I don't think they're going to hold on to that data, unfortunately.
It costs some money.
Yeah, it does.
Because they have to keep it on the server, right? I think part of the reason why August 31st is the date is, my guess is their New Jersey data center contract is probably coming up, and they got to move all the stuff, which is why they got to take the worlds offline and move all the data over to Vegas and then bring it back up in the Ghost state. And that's my thought. So, yeah, I mean, it's nice that they're giving people a couple years to log in and go, oh, hey, where the hell did everybody go? Why can't I play the game? And then hopefully discover that, their guild moved somewhere else. I just don't know how you're going to notify those people. That's the big thing.
Yeah. I understand it costs money, and they're doing, they have to shut these 32 bits down because of the contract ending and whatever, but they still have to pay to store that data somewhere, right? I'm actually surprised they're giving it 2 years. I honestly expect them to say, after this point of free transfers here, that we're going to open up for 6 weeks. Once we open up this 32 bits as Ghost Worlds, I honestly thought they were going to say, like, you're going to have 6 months and you're done.
Yeah.
You know, like
think they're giving
I was
military-
really shocked when they said 2 years. I was like, wow, okay.
They've been very generous with that time frame. Very
Yeah,
generous.
I think they're
I'm
giving military people time.
I'm actually thinking that maybe as far as log in and do things on the Ghost Worlds, it could be as low as 6 months. And then after that, it would be like for the next year and a half, it's all like they're running on a virtual server that can only be read by the transfer wizard, and whatever you got on those characters as is, that's all you got.
I wish instead of deleting it, they would just auto boot everyone to a new server who hasn't transferred after those 2 years. But I guess they don't want to do that because that's more data they have to store. That's my assumption.
They
'Cause-
did that with the original server merge. They forced people
Yeah.
onto other servers. So why not do it here at the end of that year or 2 years? Just say, okay, everybody remaining is getting split and pushed to these servers.
Well,
and
and
that's
they
it.
did.
Because they,
And they
I
did
feel like
word
they
it
would
the
have
way
to
they.
pack and unpack every single one of those characters.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe there's technical reasons, or maybe they just don't want to pay to store the data for. Let's be honest, characters that people probably
I'll be honest.
99% of people will
I
never
don't
be
think
played
it's
again.
they're deleting it. I don't think they're deleting it. I think they're just turning off the 32-bit servers, and that means it can't be reached. I think it's always gonna be wherever, unless that whatever company's storing that server wipes it.
Well, I hope so,
You know
because
what I mean?
maybe
Yeah,
then.
well, no, they're not going to be able to have access to it. I mean, if you can't have access to it, it might as well be gone. But as far as the, even the pushing to other servers go, at that point, after 2 years, if I was taking that long of a break, yeah, I'd be disappointed if I lost something in my shared bank. But I'd also realize I had 2 years to take care of that damn problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you
if
wait
they-
2 years, you're probably not going to be playing on the new servers anyway. It's like 2 years down the line, you still haven't done it. It might be inactive accounts or inactive characters.
Yeah. So
Well, like
I'm-
Nimbin said, military. If somebody's overseas and just cannot physically do it,
Mhm.
I understand there. Okay, that's why they're given the 2 years for situations like that. But that's a rare circumstance, maybe. But if you can't tell me that somebody overseas, unless they're in the middle of some shit constantly for those 2 years, they don't understand. They don't see what's happening. They haven't read some forum. They haven't read. They haven't watched a video, so they know it's happening. Send your best friend your information. Say, hey, dude, jump on this game for me, download whatever, and do this transfer. Follow these steps, and just put me on some random server. I'll deal with it when I get home.
Honestly,
I mean?
this is a good time for a PSA. Hey, anyone who's watching this, if you have a loved one or a friend that you know on Facebook that's not playing, we should be spreading the word to anyone that we can get in contact of that we know that used to play this game. At least
Give them the
give them a
opportunity. Yeah.
chance. Yeah.
It does happen.
Yes,
There's people who
I have.
they go to college, they don't have time to play for 4 years, or they have a kid.
They're on a naval
Yeah, or
boat
they
that
get
has
shipped
bad
out.
Wi-Fi.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot
Yes,
of
I have.
reasons that people may not
I-
be around for a few years.
I have notified my one friend.
Yeah, I
one
told
thing
you
is,
guys.
if they do store the data past the 2 years, but you just can't access it, more than likely people would be able to contact customer service and they could probably figure out something to get the data somewhere.
SneakerNet.
Yeah. I was hoping that maybe that'll be the case. Maybe through customer service they can pull the data if they don't delete it.
Yeah, because
Just-
Cordovan
no
never
guarantee on that, obviously.
explicitly say anything about deleting or erasing the 30
Yeah.
He says
Right.
they're just off, unaccessible.
They're
They're just
very
gonna keep it on
particular
a-
about their
on a
language.
jump drive.
It says
Yeah, they're gonna-
transfers. It says transfers
It's
will
gonna
no
be on a
longer be
hard drive in
possible.
a closet.
Yeah,
They're gonna put each one on its own USB stick, and they're going to encase it in acrylic, and it's going to be sitting behind Cordova on every stream on Fridays at 4.
And Nicolas Cage is gonna be trying to steal it every year.
Well, and even if they can't pull your data back, maybe customer service at that point, say 3 years from now, maybe will be amenable to maybe giving you some things to help you get started. I don't know, possibly. If you can prove that you were a player and these are the things I had.
Well, proving the player thing would be easy, right? They could always go back and look at how many accounts they had, and they can see your account even if it's on it was on the old server, you're still registered through their website, right?
Yeah, you think they'd have some data on your characters, like
So
what characters you had, what
Yeah, I mean
level.
everything's tied to your email,
right.
and they could search stuff up by the email. That's how I had some guildies who came back after being gone for like 10 years, but they couldn't remember their password, right? And there's not really a way to reset it that's easily done. Or they might even have an email that they haven't touched in 10 years. But they were able to get access back to their account. So, you know, and that was through customer service. So I think customer service will be able to do something as long as the data's still around.
Yeah, maybe not a full restore of everything, but something, you know.
Yeah, because that's the thing. So this is not related to SSG or anything, but I had experience where I had a game that had a storage companion to it, and the service got shut down. But I had there was a little window where I was able to transfer this information to the newer cloud application, and they were able to give me a not exactly up to date, but like the last memory factory they have. So there was a whole section of my progress gone, but the majority of it was still there, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, so you don't get 100%, but maybe you get 70. You know, that's better than nothing, right?
You get a restore point, the latest
Right.
restore point, a rollback version, which is better than nothing.
Okay, well, let's go into things. So they put out a whole article for anyone who hasn't seen it, and I'll link it in the description on the YouTube side and the Spotify side. But there's a whole transfer guide that you really should, every player should read, which gives the details of how the process works. Most things, I know the big question going into this was, are they going to make things transfer? Most everything transfers. There are some exceptions. So the things that don't transfer is monster. So first one is monster manual progress. So you need to go in before you transfer and claim all your monster manual rewards if you care about that. Mail, auction house listings, guild rank, although you'll be able to get that back after your guild leader unpacks on the new server. Your daily dice free roll status, guild airship chest storage. Make sure if you have anything on a guild ship that's being stored in a chest, you pull that out before you transfer. Friends list, ignore list, shared bank custom tabs. And the big one, which they started talking about this week, was access to races, classes, and enhancement trees does not persist following transfer if the access was granted solely through favor. But SSG did say they'll be offering a solution to this issue in the near future. So they then said we encourage players to consider that free solution that will be available soon if they're thinking about purchasing access. So my assumption is they're going to do some kind of temporary access or free code for, say, the different universal trees and what have you. What do you guys think about this? And then anything else that doesn't transfer?
I think it's kind of.
Go ahead, Nim.
I mean, it's a little patchwork. Like, think about it. If your main tune is going to be the tune of issue and you need to lock down your name, then you definitely need to make a tune, because they're suggesting you not transfer these problem tunes until the solution's out. So, like, they're obviously going to give us some kind of free coupon or access to at this time. I don't know if it's going to. It has to be a small window, right? Because they're not just going to be like, hey, all these universal trees that you bought through these ultimate bundles are free now forever. You know, then that opens a whole other can of topics and worms.
It might be a limited time, but as of now, and I expect them to have that solution quickly, probably the end of, they haven't said, but maybe the end of next week or early the week after. But yeah, stuff like Favored Soul, if you've unlocked Favored Soul through favor only, and that's how you have access, and you've never bought it, if you transfer a Favored Soul, you're not going to be able to play that character until they give this free solution out, or until you earn it through favor on the new server.
I actually thought this was going to affect me, but I just realized I've never bought Drow. Is that the one that was released though?
Drow is now free, I believe, isn't it?
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that's the one that was. It was premium. It was hidden behind favor. Yeah, but now it's free. Yeah.
So here's what I would like to see. I think you can take Warforged, Artificer, and Favored Soul and make them free, right? I mean, how long has Warforged been in the game?
Very
Since
long time.
the start, yeah.
Yeah.
Favored Soul's been around since 2008. Artificer's been around since 2011. We're talking all this stuff has been around for at least 14 plus years. Make it free to everybody. With the trees, I can see that them doing a temporary coupon code. For X amount of time you have access to this. And so great. And then you'd have to earn those normally. But the races and classes that have been out for over a decade, just make them free to everybody. I mean, Alchemist has only been out for what, 4 years now? I think that was the last class that was released. I think it was 2021. I could be wrong. But all that other stuff has been around forever. So just let people have it.
That would be the optimal solution. I don't know if they're going to do that, but yeah, that would be awesome.
I'm going to make all you guys laugh now. Do you know how there's a time difference between the UK and the States, and you've got so many different time zones? I am actually late to be streaming in a collaboration with 2 other streamers and 2 other players right now. Yeah, no Mad Dog gets it. so yeah, just thought to let you know. I wanted to make you all smile. I should be streaming at this moment in time on my channel with a collab. So
Do you need to head out?
Yeah. I'd like to stay. I feel like I'm. Yeah, I'll hang around for a while.
Okay. If you need to go, that's fine. No worries.
They're all actually waiting for me, and my mind said it's 8 p.m. UK time, but it's not. It's actually 7. So I just thought somebody out there might have had a similar situation. Just look at me and think, "What an idiot," and smile at me.
Well, we're getting towards the end. We don't have too much left, so
we are 12 hours difference. It's 8 a.m. here.
Oh no, don't give me that. Yeah, as far as it's 7 p.m. here. And I was thinking, 8 o'clock, I'll be fine. But
it's 1 o'clock where I am. PM.
Yeah, 2 o'clock here. Yeah, we have a variety of time zones represented.
Yeah,
Hawaii,
it's 14.
UK. Yep.
This is a worldwide discussion.
It's an international
14
podcast.
a.m. here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get to... So, yeah, with the favor, I don't know. I think they like having the 400 favor unlock, for example, with Warforged, so that new players have, like, something that feels rewarding that they get soon.
Same with the Drow.
Yeah, it was Drow, now it's Warforged, and I don't know. We'll see. I'm leaning towards, if I had to guess, it's just going to be like, get this code and you have access for, 6 months or something, maybe 3 months.
Enough time to get re-earn the favor.
Right, enough time to re-earn the favor. Yeah, but we'll see. Let's get to the actual process. So for anyone listening, that article I'm listed below in the description gives you the guide on how to do it. But to simplify it, and I'm not going to go over every single little thing, but to simplify the process, it involves running a /pack command function. So you need to log into each character you want to transfer, and you have to do this per character, and you type in the command /transfer pack in the game chat window. This assigns the server data to your character and makes them ready to transfer, and also no longer allows them to play in the 32-bit world. And you have to run this pack function before you can transfer. If you try to transfer before running it, it will not let you. But that's basically what you do. You log into your character, you run that function just by typing it in chat, and it flags it for transfer. So then you relaunch your client, you type in your username and password, and you select the transfer wizard option, which is on the server select screen, and then you just follow the commands. And this is the same wizard that you use, say, if you have ever copied a character to Lamania, or if you've ever transferred a character from a 32-bit world to another 32-bit world. But you run through that wizard, then after you run through the wizard, you log on to your new 64-bit world, and once you're there, you type /transfer unpack into the chat window on that character, and that will populate your character with all the items and information that was on the old world. And the only thing I want to note for that is if you unpack before your guild leader unpacks, it won't unpack your guild information. So you may need to run that unpack function again after your guild leader unpacks, so that your guild status and such is populated. The other thing they said here is make sure you don't click on create a guild button on your new server before you populate that guild data, because it will overwrite it. And the other thing is name conflicts. So if there is a name conflict on the new server, you will get a -1 added to your character's name. And every time you get that -1 added, you get a free character rename. So if that happens to you, someone else has your name, you just type /change name and then type in the new name that you want. So you get a free rename. So the other thing to keep in mind with that is if you say you want to rename like all your bank tunes or something for organization purposes, or if you just want a free rename, you need to go and make a dummy character, so just a placeholder name character on the new server before you transfer. That will give you the -1 and let you get a free rename. But if you don't do that, you're not going to get the free rename if no one has that name taken on the server. You only get a free rename if there is a name conflict. So yeah, what do you guys think about the process? When are you transferring, and do you think it's about as clear as it could be? It's not super clear. There's going to be a lot of confusion. I hope everything goes well on Tuesday.
I feel like it's super clear.
Since the most important thing for me is my name's day one. That's it, day one.
Yep. If you have a name you're tied to, I highly recommend right when the server is open, log into the new server, create a character. Don't wait for your character to transfer. Create a dummy character to make sure you reserve the name you want. So it's going to be a mad rush on Tuesday. If there's a very common name that you want, you need to take the time. Maybe you need to take some time off work or whatever you need to do so that you can be there at 2 p. Isn't it 2 p.m.? I believe.
Boss, I need an hour.
Yeah,
I just need to
boss.
run
I
home
mean,
real quick.
I know this accounting work's important, but I got to get home and get that name of my character. I may be doing that myself, but yeah. So just make sure you do it soon. The longer you wait, the more of a chance your character is going to take it. Now, if you have some odd name, you probably don't have to worry about it. And then they did say that if there's something nefarious that goes on where you have some super specific name that's not common and someone just takes it to be an a-hole, you can call customer service, or not call, but you can put in a ticket and they'll probably give you the name if someone's doing something nefarious. But if it's a common name, if you're Drizzt, and someone takes it. Actually, I don't think they allow the name Drizzt, but if you have some common name, you're Charlie, and you want to create Charlie, and someone makes the character Charlie already, then you're probably just out of luck, because if there's two people with a legitimate claim to the name, it's going to be first come, first serve.
Yeah, I don't think my name is in any danger of being taken. I've never seen even an off version of my name in the game.
Hey, Noob
But I
needs
still...
to... One sec, sorry to interrupt, but Noob needs to go. Noob, if you want to just say quickly where people can find you before you head out.
I do. I think the system they've actually put in place is probably as good as it can be. Obviously, you can tell they've worked hard on how to transfer the packing, the unpacking, and I think overall it's a pretty good idea. But I'm going to have to leave you guys. It's been a pleasure chatting with all of you. Thank you very much for the invite, Axel.
Yep.
The next time, he says, not going to be a next time now because you abandoned us. If we ever have to do anything again in future, I will make sure to get the time zones right. It's just that I can see the
No
game
problem.
now, and I can see everybody's actually waiting for me to turn up. So thanks for the invite again. It's been nice chatting to you all, guys. And
Good one.
hopefully we'll be playing DDO for the next 10, 15 years.
And what's your Twitch channel? Where can people find you?
I shall type it in chat.
It's twitch.tv/noobaholic, I believe. Noob, AHLOLIC. And I'll link it below in the description with everyone else's social media and Twitch and YouTubes and all that.
That's where you can find me. That's it. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
All right, later, man.
Guys,
Yep, see you
enjoy.
later.
It's been
Thanks
a
for
great
coming.
conversation. Bye for now.
Okay, go ahead, Abra. What were you saying?
I was just saying, with that being said, my name not being, something I don't think is sought after, I'm still going to log on and create that placeholder just in case. And I would suggest other people do that as well, because you never know. You never know.
Yeah, be careful with... Are there any... The only concern I had about doing that, is there any first-time items anymore? I think there are some. Are there not? That only the first character you create on a server gets? Like the XP... What is it? The epic... what is the XP booster things for XP and Tome of Learning?
Great,
I think.
yeah, great
If you
Tome
bought
of Learning,
those, like that's one example, I think, is the first time. So your first character, do not delete it until you look and see if you have any of those first-time items and throw them in your shared bank. Be very careful about that. And I
A
think
lot of
some
those
of the
things are
boxes,
character bound,
I think,
like the Raiders box and stuff.
yeah, aren't some of those given
Your
to your first
VIP
character?
rewards.
There's certain things. Yeah, you need to be really careful. Don't delete your placeholder character.
Right.
You might even, before you create your placeholder character, you might want to create a different character just so you get all that stuff populated real quick and then create your placeholders. But it's really up to you how you want to do it. Yeah, Paisakai says Illyri, Hireling, I believe, Sentient XP Tomes. So there's some things that are only populated in your first ever character's inventory. So you got to be careful with that. What else do you
So,
guys think about the process? I mean, when
I
are
have
you
a
guys
question.
transferring?
I have a question about the process actually that you might be able to answer or just give your thoughts on. In what you just said, creating a new tune gets you these things, right? Uh, if it's something that your character has available to it, the Ellery and the Sentience XP and all that, maybe a Raiders box here and there. Um, is transferring the character equivalent to creating a new character on a new server?
Oh, for purposes of getting the first time things?
Right. I
I don't know.
don't know the answer to
I
that.
don't know either. No idea.
I don't know.
I'm
That
not
may
even
be
gonna guess.
something
I
the
legit
devs
had no
could
idea.
speak up on, maybe in a post or something, because that might be important information for people to have.
Yeah, just check your inventory. And the other thing is, if you're transferring a character with full inventory, it could be an overflow if that is the
Yep.
case. So it might be hidden, it might not be easily visible, but it won't be a problem if it's on that character. Then even if it's an overflow, it's not like you're going to delete that character. So if you are, I would just make sure you just check on your placeholder dummy characters. Just throw stuff if there's anything there that's bound to account. Throw it in shared bank before you delete the character. And I think the XP, the Tomes of Destiny, Tomes of Learning are going to be the big ones. Jack Dragon in chat says no, it isn't equivalent. Okay,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't know if the devs have been.
I've never transferred, so I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I don't know. No, I will say that whenever I copy a character to Lamania, whenever I log in for the first time, it does grant them, say, things like mounts and what have you, and expansion stuff. So, if I had to guess, I would say that it is, but well, we don't know. We'll just have to see on transfer day. Well, are there any other thoughts you guys have on the transfers? And
I think it's very unique that instead of tackling revamping the transfer system, that they just made a complementary system to include the items that are overlooked by the transfer system. I think that was very smart. And, usually I don't like it when they keep adding systems on systems in this game, but this is the one time that it worked out pretty well. Because, imagine how long we would have had to wait for them to just redo transfers from the ground up.
From
Instead, they
scratch,
just,
yeah.
yeah, like, I think this was brilliant.
They just gave players the copy paste option, basically. Which is actually pretty smart on their end.
yeah,
Well,
I'm just glad they figured out a way to transfer almost everything. That was the big concern for so many years.
so I want to bring up one topic that I think is pretty interesting, and that's the monster manual. Monster manuals, we know, have not transferred, and it's been an issue for people where they get stuck and they can't progress and after they've done a transfer. There's one person on the forums, I'm not going to name names, who has beaten that horse dead multiple times with regards to fixing the monster manual. I'm perfectly fine with them resetting it, and us now having the opportunity to get things again. But there was some comments that Cordovan had made on the Discord a few days ago with regards to rework to the monster manual and XP not necessarily being tied to progression in the monster manual anymore for a future system, and enhancements to conquest bonuses. I don't know about you guys, but one of the biggest selling points for me for the monster manuals is that incidental XP that you get just from playing the game. If that goes away, I won't be very happy, because that does speed up the process of doing the TRs. Monster manuals are just the gift that just keep on giving.
Yeah.
And a lot of the value for me is not getting the astral shards after I've done an account deed or getting another creature companion. The value is in that incidental XP that I get every time I TR.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, on that topic, specifically, if you go at level 2 or 1 or 3 or whatever, in the early game, you just go kill some ravens, jump over the salt marsh, kill some ravens, go run rosemary and get all the ravens in it. You get a chunk of XP from killing ravens and different, like bears, different things like that. Like, that makes a huge difference in your level up process.
So in
I
chat,
do
guys,
like
we're
that
getting
they're
to,
just allowing us to see HP though.
yeah,
And
not the-
that was the compromise, right? You're gonna reset this for everybody, and I mean, there's still things I can't see the XP of just because I've never gotten that far on the monster manuals. But yeah, it's a nice compromise.
See, I'm normally too lazy. I've always ignored Monster Manual. I just don't want to go and click all the boxes. But I will need to go, I guess, and check my alts that I've never even looked at the Monster Manual on and make sure there's nothing super valuable there.
Get them astral shards, man.
Yeah, the Astral Shards at
And
least.
DDO points.
Yeah, those I need to grab. But
It is a lot of clicking.
yeah, it's a lot. I wish there was
That's
a
the old
that's a thing.
manuals. Don't. You have to remind yourself the Astro Shards, the DDO points are the old manuals. It's all remnants now.
Oh, is it? See,
They
I don't
just
know.
dump remnants on you like crazy, like 750 remnants for just looking at an owl bear and just noticing what it ate that morning. It's like, here's some remnants.
See, if I want to look at the Monster Manual, I'll just pull my book off the shelf. I don't go in game, but okay, so we're getting towards the end of the podcast. So if anyone else has questions or topics, please post them in Twitch chat. It can be about anything. Neutral Agent says, so when you pack stuff, all of your mounts and pets disappear from the server you're moving the character from. Well, it's all going to move. That stuff's all going to move with you, but we don't really know how it's going to work. But my assumption is things like shared bank, that's all going to go with the first character that packs. So you probably, if you want to stay on the 32-bit servers for a while, but you're going to transfer some characters, but maybe leave one character behind. If there's anything you want in that shared bank on that character you're leaving behind, then you make sure you put it on that character and take it out of the shared bank. That's my assumption. We don't know that for sure, but it's got to work that way. I can't see it because they're not going to duplicate the data on 2 servers. So it's got to have to go with the first character.
Yep. That has been stated that your big stuff like that will be packed up with the first character that you use the pack option. I mean, the pack command on. So,
yeah, my understanding is that once the guild leader packs up the guild doesn't exist on the origin server anymore.
Right.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that this should be the next Warlock pack. No, it's it's a play on words.
I gotcha. The transfer pack.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything that you guys want to bring up that maybe we talked about, maybe a comment you forgot to make on anything that we've gone over, or anything that we've left out that you want to say something about?
I would just like to reiterate that for people with multiple tunes and for people that may be going to play on multiple servers, read through the transfer instructions. It's important to understand so that you don't screw yourself and send gear that you wanted to send with one tune to Shadow Dell, and you end up sending that gear or that information or that whatever to Thrain instead. Make sure you understand it. Ask questions. You have time. I mean, 6 weeks is not a lot of time, but you got 6 weeks, right? Make sure you understand the process and you don't screw yourself over. But also know that there is going to be a point in the future, in the near future, where if you did make a mistake, they will allow you to move from 64-bit to 64-bit to correct things like that.
Yeah, thanks for
Yes.
pointing that out. I needed to say that. Yeah, so there will be a second transfer period. So if you can try out a server for now. If you're not sure, you can move later.
And just something. Go ahead.
To piggyback on that, I think the last 2 Fridays at 4 are on YouTube now, and Cordovan really like has some visual point by points of what you should do if you're sending tunes with it. He's like, you should do. He actually shows you and tells you exactly what was just elaborated right now on how you should handle gear and going to Thrain and then gear going to Shadowdell and how you should parcel it out and handle that. Those are good references. This is the last 2 Fridays at 4s.
Maybe we could throw the link in the chat or something, Axel, just so people can have access to that or watch it.
The transfer guide.
Yeah. And like
Yeah, if someone wouldn't
the
mind
Fridays
posting
at
the
4,
link.
the Fridays at 4 video, because I actually just watched the latest one that he did yesterday, just before we started this chat here. So yeah, he does go over some good information that people may need to be aware of.
And he actually physically shows it. So if
Yep.
you're not good at that kind of learning, he actually shows you the other kind of learning.
Yeah, so there we go. I posted the link there in the chat. And for anyone listening later, like I said before, it'll be in the description on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah, the other thing to note about the transfers is you're not going to be able to transfer off of Cormier right away. Right. So if your tunes are on Cormier and you want to transfer them, you're going to have to wait until the 64-bit transfer windows open. And they'll open transfers to one world at a time, because apparently they can't have transfers to a world and off of a world at the same time. So just something to note.
My understanding is the first transfers is going to be between Cormier and Moonsea because they expect a huge volume of non-USA players, and then after that, the transfers are going to be okay because they don't expect a huge migration. Like I feel like the first transfer period, they're more concerned because of the European populace that are stranded in Cormier might be greater than a normal transfer load that they would handle.
Yeah, I'm really not sure.
I think that's what I heard from last Friday's at 4, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, and there was a longer Fridays at 4. Well, maybe it wasn't longer, but yesterday was all at Cordovan talking about transfers. So you all might want to check that out as well. Is there anything else you guys want to say about the transfers, or anything else we talked about before we close out the podcast?
Bring on the chaos.
All right. Well,
I miss you, Stallona.
One thing, just so players are aware, this is a big deal. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but go into this expecting some possible downtime in the near future.
oh yeah, very likely. And
we don't Cormier day one.
We don't know how long of a wait period there's going to be, especially transfer the first day as well. I don't know how long the wait time is going to be for you can play on your new server. So you might want to leave one character behind temporarily on the 32-bit servers, just in case it takes a while to transfer. And also, probably for the first week, the new 64-bit server is going to be not very good in terms of performance, because they already said that the unpack function adds a lot of lag and load to the server. So I would not expect you're not going to be running any raids the first day on the new 64-bit server. I mean, you guys, you could try, but it probably won't be performing very well at first.
Yeah, because packing and unpacking itself will cause lag. Cordovan said that last Friday is 4, and at thousands of people at the same time, it's going to be really bad.
Yeah.
So that's actually a topic that we should have hit on, is how are we all individually going to handle this? Because I'm considering just making a tune with my name over there and transferring maybe later just
That's what I'm gonna do.
That's what I'm thinking about
Yeah,
doing. I haven't really
when
decided
it's
yet. I might transfer a few characters, and I'm going to leave at least one character on Thelanus temporarily until the last day for sure. But I don't know. Maybe transfer a few, see how it goes, but I'm not sure yet.
I'm gonna do my main and transfer it with the guild day one. That's was always the plan. I set aside the time, and we're all gonna move over one at a time and find out how it goes. But we gotta secure the names and secure the guild, and we're doing it the minute they go live.
Yeah, I'll probably be moving the guild over day one. And then, I got tunes to move everywhere. So, but more than likely, I'll probably pack up the guild and move it over day one. So it's up and ready to go for my guildies moving over.
I feel like guild leaders are kind of forced to at that point, because they
Yeah.
have to bring the ship over.
Yeah, because I'm sure there's players in each guild that are like ready to go the second everything comes up. So the guild leader is gonna have to be on top of that.
Would it be smart for guild leaders to make like an alt tune, make them captain, transfer it over, and then just wait until it dies down, and then do the actual transfer, and then take back leadership on their main? Or would that be too convoluted?
I think it's just a matter of people just need to have some patience.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people that go from jump, and then there's people like me who are just going to wait maybe a week, 2 weeks, and kind of see how everything goes, let everything kind of settle and smooth out before I decide to make my transfer. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a little chaotic, honestly.
My
FOMO is real.
my guildies are impatient. So
I have some friends like that too.
So Troggy asked, how many players are playing DDO currently? I'm not sure, but you can check the DDOaudit.com website, and it tracks all the population. So that'll give you a good idea.
Yeah, DD Audit should have numbers.
I mean, what?
Yeah,
Max concurrent? What is it? Maybe a few thousand, 3,000 maybe concurrent.
3,000 is like peak.
Like the max peak concurrent, something like that.
Yeah.
Total number of players, I don't know
Population,
what.
There's currently
10,000
2,143 players online and 77 LFMs posted.
Yeah.
So I had reached out to Clement, the guy who does DDO Audit, and I was asking about the availability of DDO Audit with the new servers. He said it more than likely will probably not be available from the get-go. There's some back-end stuff that he's got to do to make it work. So expect a little bit of delay for DDO Audit to be working on all those. He's got to do the same thing, right? Create tunes over there and be able to pull all the data and stuff. So just so a heads up that there's probably going to be a delay for a little while. Don't know how long, but hopefully not too long, with access to the population data for the new servers.
And Troggy asked, he says, I know about DDO Audit, but not total. He wants to know how many in total. We really don't know because concurrent's the best we can do because it depends on how you define total. Are you talking about players that log in, once a week, once a month? How do you define active? Are you talking about characters or players? I'm sure SSG definitely has that data, but we just don't really have that data, and it depends a lot on how you define active player.
Yeah.
This might be a good opportunity to hit up SSG. Like, man, you're dropping this new content. You're introducing these new servers. Maybe sometime in September we see that that free quest code again. Pull in some players, get them on the new servers. I know I have a couple of friends from D&D campaigns that they're kind of interested in playing, and they're kind of waiting for that code because I told them about the code, and they're like, hey, if they drop that again, let me know. I'll definitely create a character, log in, do all that, So maybe this is a good time in the year for that code, SSG.
That would be amazing. It's time.
That
It's been a
code is
while.
so funny. I remember when it first came out, people were like, you ruined VIP's value. And now everyone's like, yeah, put more of that code out. We need friends.
Yeah, it's like what good's VIP if there's no one to play with? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
The irony of being SSG community.
Yeah, well, I do hope it comes back. This is a huge deal, and it would be a good time to promote the game. It would make sense. I think they are.
Mhm.
If I had to guess, I think they are going to do it because it's been some time, and you typically pick specific strategic times to do that code to try to recruit more players in. And what better time than we have fancy new servers for the
Exactly.
game and a new Ravenloft expansion coming.
Exactly.
So this has got to
I
be.
don't-
I think it's going to happen. No guarantees.
It's going to
but I
be
think
in.
it's gonna happen.
The earliest is going to happen is 6 months because the 20th anniversary of DDO is around the corner.
That's
That
huge.
would
Yeah.
be-
Well, they
yeah,
can do it
that
twice.
would be the best time to do it.
Yeah.
Started around Christmas time, and let it go until the end of February. You know, the end of their maiden voyage month.
That would make sense, and they probably won't release it. Obviously, they're not going to release it until they get the 64-bit servers handled and running well and all that. So, yeah. Okay. Well, anything else, guys, before we close things out? All right. Well, let's just go around the table. If you want to just do a plug of where people can find you, your Twitch, your YouTube, or social media, whatever, guild website. Abra, you want to go first?
YouTube Abracadabra space D&D. The letters DND, not the ampersand. And on Twitch Abracadabra, I don't stream as often as I used to anymore because Axel and Voodoo take all the viewers. So it's rough, man. But I do stream DDO there every once in a while. But check me out on YouTube, and like I said, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to sit here and speak with you guys. And I'll see you guys on the new servers, I guess.
Doug?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Doug Lindauer or on YouTube. And I haven't been doing much on YouTube, but it's just Doug Lindauer on YouTube. One thing I'd like to mention right now, though, is today on DDO Stream, we are going to be streaming from 4 to 8 Pacific time for the last dance on Kyber, where we will be giving away some extra 100-point codes and some other sundry stuff. I'd love for everybody to drop on by there for that last dance.
Nimvin?
I'll be there. Absolutely, I'll be there.
Yeah, go ahead, Nimvin.
Hi, I'm Nimvin. No,
That's all we
I'm
need to know.
Nimvin.
Next.
That's
Nomad.
all. To be honest, I feel like sometimes that's what it feels like. You can find me at twitch.tv/Nimvin. You can find me on forums doing Nim notes every Friday, giving you the latest DDO news. And of course, YouTube. Also, you can find me at twitch.tv/Voodoo Spice, co-hosting every morning with Voodoo. And I hope in your heart. You can find me in your heart, I hope.
All right, Nomad.
Nomad Dog, you can find me at twitch.tv/Nomad Dog. Usually stream Wednesdays and Friday nights starting at 6:30 p.m. Hawaii time, which is 9:30 p.m. Pacific, 12:30 a.m. Eastern, until November when the time changes. Then it changes for everyone. My time stays the same. But I also stream Sunday mornings, Sunday afternoons, 2 p.m. Eastern on DDO Stream. We recently finished up our look at the content for all the updates from 1 to 73. Took about a year and a half to get through all that. And so now I started a new series, which is Every Quest, Every Optional. And we started at level 1. We're working on Harbor now. And so we are doing every quest with every optional. And it's good so far. We'll kind of see how it goes as we progress, but looking forward to that. So that'll be tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. I'll be doing that. And I'm looking forward to seeing more people. I reside on Cannith, which became a ghost town after the Great Server Migration in 23, and looking a lot looking forward to having a lot more people to actually play with. Hopefully more people in my time zone, because I end up playing with a lot of people from Australia and New Zealand just because of the time difference. So, but yeah, looking forward to it.
And
I'd like to clarify something if I can,
Yeah,
real
go ahead.
quick, Axel. So my YouTube channel, I don't stream to YouTube. My YouTube channel is not DDO related. It is Dungeons and Dragons, but it's not DDO related. So don't go over there expecting to see gameplay footage or anything. It's a D&D campaign that is uploaded to there, not streamed. So just to clarify
yeah,
that.
that's cool. It doesn't have to be all DDO. But I will also, as I said before, I will link everything they plugged in the description if you want to find any of these guys on YouTube or Twitch or whatnot. Last thing I want to say is thank you to my Patreon supporters, Brian Rasmussen, Vovklav Snyder, and Brent Erickson. If you want to support this podcast or any other content from me, you can check out my link tree below to get links to all that stuff. But thank you all four of you, and also to our other guests who had to leave early. Thanks to you guys for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I know asking a few hours out of your weekend is a big deal. So I always appreciate you guys taking the time. So we will see you guys for the next podcast sometime in the future. You all have a good one. Take care.